Hello and welcome to the build-up to a good game. We're an hour away from kick-off at the London Stadium as it's West Ham United against Crystal Palace. Now, all being well and Opta not getting involved, the West Ham team and the Crystal Palace team will be on your screen, alternating with the current match stats, which all sit at 0 at the minute. But one change from Graham Potter, Gonzo, Aaron Cresswell coming in for Carlos Soler, which makes it a little bit easier to work out what West Ham are doing. Although saying that, Opta's got involved and put a predicted team up, so don't look at the screen. Bloody Opta stats, honestly, they're bad. So I'll read it out in a second. Let me just get rid of the rid of the teams. Okay, there you go. So the West Ham team is Lucas Fabianski in goal with a back three of Konstantinos Mavropanos, Max Kilman, as well as Aaron Cresswell. And then we've got Adam Ramzaka, right wing back, Emerson, left wing back, with Guido Rodriguez and Edson Alvarez in midfield, and it looks like Lucas Paqueta up front with Mohamed Kudus and Thomas Souček playing just in behind him. Is that how you see it, Gonzo?
Yes, probably. But this guy can do all manner of things, really. But that was my reading of it. As soon as obviously my instant thing is about Soler. But once I'd sort of, got past that and looked at the team, then I think that probably is the shape, I'd imagine.
What was your reaction to it? What's your
Well,
thoughts?
I said after the Aston Villa game, I'm not sure he fancies Soler. He didn't start him. I only because I thought it was like this guy's tailor made for him, and he didn't start him. And then I also spoke about it. Maybe it was on our player ratings. I thought he was my man of the match against Fulham, but he brought him off quite early. And I said after that, I do wonder. So I think I'm not. I don't really hate him or anything like that. Yeah, I think he gets on with absolutely everybody. But yeah, I had a little inkling, and I don't know if you call it a confirmation bias quite like that yet. But my early indicators would be, I think he is. I'm surprised to see Guido Rodriguez in the. I know they play a different position, but there's other players you can shuffle around. So I think he is. He's already shown in 3 games that he is either one of the first players that will be dropped or subbed for Potter. So I think possibly long term. I wouldn't get too used to the geezer. Basically,
I haven't read that much into it because I think he had a 50-50 choice as to which player to bring out. The way I see it is 3 at the back, and so it's how Crystal Palace have always played under Glasner, really. So it's we're matching up how Palace play in terms of formation. Both sides playing the same way here with 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, 2 number 10s. And I think he's gone to do that and then thought, right, okay, so what do I need to do? And his answer was to bring in, Alan Cresswell. I think it's bring in another centre-back. Now, obviously, that would leave him Soufal or Cresswell, really. And he's gone with Cresswell, who I think has done okay when we've seen him this season in 5-10 minute spells. I think he's looked fine. So I think that's why Cresswell's in to go to the back 3. I'll be honest, I wouldn't want Scarles playing centre back, and I wouldn't want Emerson playing centre back. Neither of them have got experience to be there, so I'm okay with that one if he wants to go 3 there. And then it's a case of which one are you taking out? Are you taking out Soler or are you taking out Rodriguez? Which one? And he's obviously opted for Soler. Personally, I would have taken Rodriguez out and dropped Souček back in beside Alvarez and kept Soler up there. But if you do that, I guess you're taking away the goal-scoring threat of Thomas Souček, and the man's scoring goals.
Yeah, he is, but I think, it's just turned out different. As I mean, look, I was not impressed with the team selection before Fulham, the build up, and I mean, we won the game, which is brilliant. Really, really good. But I was worried that it was just a bit too defensive. Wouldn't create. Well, I guess we didn't create that much. To be fair, we had 4 shots and scored 3 of them. So you're gonna need a high efficiency. And I think we've still got Souček's goal threat, but we've taken out one more creative player. So it's going to be really interesting. I thought we were two players light on creative players anyway. So but again, I'm more, I hope I get this wrong, this team, and actually no, he's he can go and do something. He can go and do something special because this is he's clearly got a knack for doing so. He's clearly, analysing each game, and we, and I'm pleased about that, by the way, because I think everybody else has been so wedded to their own style and what they wanted to do that they didn't have that tactical flexibility. So I'm pleased to see this guy's got that, and I think for the first time in ages, it looks like we've got a manager who's really thinking about these things and treating it almost like, even if you go back to Moyes, he almost had, there was sort of like, counter-attacking football. Then when you played the big six away, really, really bloody defensive, and whereas you didn't feel like shape-wise it was that diverse. Or at least you're looking at him here. He'll do any number of things, before the game and throughout the game. And, we're still finding out about him. So, yeah, he's obviously, I mean, what we are seeing, I don't think this will be Potter's end game, but you are seeing a man who's looked at West Ham and thought, right, what's their biggest problem? Well, they're shipping goals. We have got a pragmatic manager at the moment who's willing to change probably his ethos and the way he wants to, eventually would see the long-term projects at West Ham. And he's gonna. I would imagine he's probably going to shut Crystal Palace down here.
Well, I don't know, because I think when we were looking good against Fulham in the second half of the first half, so between minutes 25 and full time whistle going, we were sort of playing with a back three with Alvarez slotting in between the two centre backs. Wan-Bissaka was pushing up. Kudus went central next to Paqueta. So I feel like we're just starting with that today rather than reverting to more of a back four and trying to work it out from there. I think he's just accepted. And I think with today's team, you're going to see Wan-Bissaka getting forward. You're going to see Emerson getting forward. And I'm okay with that. I think you'll see Kudus more central than he was at the beginning of the game against Fulham. I think he'll be a sort of like he was against Aston Villa in that central to the right of the number 10s. We're playing number 10s. So he'll be slightly to the right and Souček will be to the left, I would imagine. And I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. I'm actually quite happy with the team, truth be told.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I think it makes sense. I think this is the first time I've looked at a team and it feels like Graham Potter's team, if that makes sense.
Really?
Well, without any transfer market, and with the players we've got available.
Yeah.
But when the team came out against Fulham, we were looking at going 6 midfielders, what's going on here? And, there wasn't an obvious pre-match plan. And I would suggest that we started with one, but he had to change it. So it wasn't working, but he changed it quickly enough and it went on to work. But it was, I think, looking at the lineup we've got given to us today, I'm looking at that and I feel like I'm quite confident as to how we're going to line up against Crystal Palace from the starting whistle. Not something I felt against Fulham or Aston Villa. So
I agree with that. I'm not looking at this thinking, this is a Graham Potter team, particularly looks more like a David Moyes team. In many respects.
I think it's Graham Potter's tactics, if you like. I think we're strikers short, really.
No, we are. I'm not even. I'm not. I'm just. I don't. I can't even say more than that. I felt we were attacker short anyway. Completely forced against Fulham. I think then to take out what is not forced is him to take out another creative player. So he obviously, you've explained why you think he's done that. Yeah, and look, hopefully he'll bring Soler on. But I do worry for how much we will create. But as I say, in the last one, I'm willing to be educated on that these players who I don't particularly feel are creative players. Even Wan-Bissaka, I love Wan-Bissaka. My favourite signing of the summer. He's got a couple of goals. He got an assist. I wouldn't have ever called him an attacking player. And if others are, and if he's going to make him an attacking player, then I'm happy to be to learn my lesson on that and be educated. And if what he's going to further do is we're going to see Souček doing more drag backs and and refining a better passing game and all that. I love Souček. I love Souček to bits. Not arguing with him being in the team at all. I don't. With the exception of Paqueta, I don't look at that team and think, oh, look, there's a bunch of people who have got they've got passing ability. I just don't. And I think that's what I associate with Potter is passing ability. And that's why I think he's probably not doing what he wants to do. He's probably getting pragmatism. He's probably thinking, right, how can I best get through these games? And that's why you've got what you've got now. I think long term we're not going to be seeing this, and this is a means to him getting away through.
Yeah, right. We're going to take a look at the Crystal Palace team in a second. The graphics, just to reiterate, because there's people commenting about it, we don't make the graphics. They're not mine. Me and Gonzo don't touch them. It's all automatic. So that formation you're seeing now for West Ham is not necessarily what me and Gonzo think we will be doing. I think it's going to be like the Crystal Palace one that's just going to be on your screen in any second now. You're going to have the Crystal Palace team. That 3-4-3 4-2-1. I think that's how we will line up today. But the bench for West Ham, Alphonse Areola has returned. He's on the bench. Carlos Soler is available. He's on the bench. So is Soufal. Guilherme's on the bench despite possibly going to the Saudis. Danny Ings is on there alongside Andy Irving. And then we've got the three youngsters in Caelan Casey, Ollie Skiles and Lewis Orford. No Somerville, which is a blow, to be honest. We were a little bit optimistic, but
yeah,
bit frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, look, look. You're going to have this. He's going to be cautious. He's not going to be rushing people back. Clearly, you've even heard the way he talks about the number of minutes players are playing. That whole thing about Kudus. Yeah, I'm taking him off, so he's going to be fresher. We've got to manage his minutes, and he's already speaking about that. So I think if he's going to be like that, just in terms of general fitness, I'm quite sure he's going to be ultra cautious with injuries. And someone's got to, let's be fair, someone's got to do something because we've. Maybe if he'd have been here from the start, you never know. He might have taken Fulkrug, might have given him another couple of weeks before he introduced him. Maybe he might have built up a better core fitness so he didn't break down when he tried to go into a sprint and stuff like that. So yeah, it's I'm sure he's just being cautious with Somerville, and like I said, I'm sure this won't be his team. I'm sure Somerville will be a big part of his plans, and there'll be another playmaker again to come in and probably a striker as well. So. Yeah.
Right then, the Crystal Palace starting 11 this afternoon. In goal is Henderson, a back three of Richard, Gay, as well as Lacroix, who will be in the middle of the back three. Munoz on the right, then on the left we've got Mitchell. In midfield we've got Will Hughes alongside Kamada, with Sarr and Eze playing just off Mateta. What do you make of the Palace team?
Yeah, I think it's a good team. Full of pace, as one would expect with there. As you mentioned in the build-up show, Mateta's coming back into form, isn't he? So yeah, I think I still think. Well, why would you not? I still think we can have the measure of them in central midfield. That I've little doubt about that. Particularly, bearing in mind for reasons I've already explained. He's going to have to come up with something to get through their defensive line. That's for sure. And obviously you've got Mateta's in good form, but I'm not so worried about that. Eze a little bit more, and I think maybe with this formation as well, with them doing three at the back, maybe we'd sort of covered quite well on the left-hand side to sort of stop them attacking. I think we're covered quite well all over to stop them attacking and having really good chances. So I certainly think this should be a tight game, I'd imagine.
I'll whiz through the Palace bench before I give you my opinion on the team, so I can put my phone down. Turner's on the bench, as well as Nketiah and Schlupp. Klein is on the bench with Decore and Riyadh, and then you've got Rodney, Devaney and Forther on the bench for Crystal Palace this afternoon. It's expected. I say expected. I got one wrong in my opposition prediction. Sad face. However, I did say I have a 50-50, which was Kamada or Decore, so I sort of half called my error in advance, if you like. I thought you'd have went with Decore, and I'll tell you why. Because I think Kamada's crap in centre midfield. I don't think Pereira's a good central midfielder. I feel like he's an attacking midfielder out of position. I thought he was crap against us on Tuesday night. I think Kamada is a number 10 playing central midfield, and I don't think he's great at this role. So that's someone I would like to see us get at. I think Will Hughes, despite us smirking, if you like, about being linked to him and whatnot, he has been one of the better players this season, so get at him. Test Richards out early doors as well if we can. I think the Emerson Munoz battle, because we're going very direct, it's very one-on-one this game. I'm intrigued to see what we do when we're defending. Do we push Edson Alvarez and Rodriguez forward onto Hughes and Kamada, or are they going to pick up Eze and Sarr? So are we going to be asking Kudus and Souček come back in Mark, Kamada and Hughes? Do you know what I mean? Or because if we're going to do the former, which is get our midfield pushing up a bit, that would put Creswell one-on-one with Sarr, and that would concern me quite a lot. I feel like that's not a situation I want to see us get into too much. So I think Rodriguez, because he tends to play to the left of the midfield pairing, he's going to have to help out Creswell a little bit. Saying that, he's not particularly fast himself, so we've got two slowish players up against Sarr, so that's my worry a little bit. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because of Graham Potter. I'm confident when I would have seen this team historically. I'd have went, oh, it's a bit defensive and we're playing for a draw. I don't really feel like that. That vibe's gone. I'm thinking, all right, it's, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. But it's a bit like Crystal Palace. They're playing the same formation. They're not defensive. So it doesn't mean we'll be defensive. I think it'll be quite an end-to-end game today, actually. Most predictions I've seen involve both teams scoring. Quite a few predictions on the pitch, and I've got high scoring games, 2-2, 3-2s and stuff. And you can certainly understand why, even though Palace are a little bit goal shy, you wouldn't bank on our defence. And one thing I'm hoping we might get a little bit today is Adam Creswell's deliveries from deep. I still think he's our best crosser with the ball in the team. So when we've got set pieces and free kicks from distance, I want to see Creswell on them today. And Emerson pushing forward might mean that Creswell can pick the ball up 15, 20 yards inside our half and be able to whip it in from deep with Thomas Souček in a number 10 position. You never know. So I think there's maybe, while you might look at it and think, well, where's the creativity? It might just come from a little bit deeper and from perhaps players you may not suspect initially. So I'm looking forward to Creswell maybe whipping some decent balls in today and getting on the end of it. Anything you'd like to say regarding the team's Gonzo before we compile a little bet to us?
I think Alvarez can have a good day today. I think what we should see, hopefully, is the continuation of Potter improving players, which I think that's certainly been the case. And some of it in Alvarez's case, I think you're actually witnessing not just Alvarez. You witness a repair job. You may be seeing a repair job with Rodriguez. You're definitely seeing a repair job with Mavropanos and Paqueta. There's no doubt about that. I don't think Souček needs a repair job. He was already scoring important goals this season. So, he's just, allow him to, continue to be Souček and you'll be absolutely fine. He's so reliable. So I think that's what I think. I think we'll see. We'll just see more of that, hopefully today. And also to a lesser extent, it's not a repair job, but Emerson's been awful this season. He's been the worst version of Emerson has been this season since we got him, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised if we were going to see, more improvement from him as well. So, there's lots just in terms of like little individual stories through West Ham. I think there's lots to look for, lots of areas of interest and lots to look forward to in terms of looking at the team today.
In regards to the bet then, what are you fancying?
Well, you can probably predict what I'm going to say.
Thomas Souček goal.
Well, it's got to be, isn't it?
You won't get pushed back from me on this one.
No, I mean, look, he's that bloke is like gonorrhea, isn't he? To be fair, just when you think it's going to go away, it comes back with a vengeance, and you realise it's going to stick around for a while. And he is just he's permanent, isn't he? Really, and just magnificent. He's going to score a goal. West Ham score. I'm sure he'll be involved. I'm quite sure he's going to be quite elevated. Because you're right. What he's going to do is he's still going to want to try and be as attacking as he can. Potter. He's just going to use maybe sort of non-flair players to do it and to get us up the pitch. As you may well, and I wouldn't be surprised if Alvarez plays his part today in that. But I certainly think Souček will. So I wouldn't be surprised if big performances from Souček, Paqueta, and Alvarez again. We're basically, I think we saw that the other day as well.
Anyone you fancy for a card?
No, I'll let you choose. It's hard because I'm not sure we're not as fruity as before, are we?
No, I was thinking that as well. It's a pity we don't have faster players in the middle of the park. I guess we've got Kudus, but Will Hughes tends to play slightly to the left because I would have done Kamada card just because I think he's a bit of a liability. And also we're using Paddy Power. And they may have a feature that if Kamada goes off and Decore comes on, the card bet continues with Decore, so it lasts 90 minutes unless the player gets sent off. But then you've won anyway. I might stick with Kamada, but it's him or Will Hughes. What are you fancying? Pick one.
Kamada,
let's go with him. He's the outside one. He's big odds, so that'll bump it right up. Let me slap a fiver on there. 4 people to win £100. There's other things. So if this bet wins, 4 of you will win £100 each. Thomas Souček to score. Crystal Palace to score a goal. Mateta and Paqueta to have a shot on target. And Kamada to have a yellow card. That bet wins. 4 of you will win £100 cash. In order to enter in the live chat, please put the following phrase.
A Big Sue's at it again.
Big Sue's at it again. Get that into the live chat. And if the bet wins, 4 people will pick up 100 quid. Right, Gonzo, we both said 1-1 in the preview. I did an opposition preview with Dan, who is better known as HLTCO on Twitter, one of the big accounts on Twitter, and a very good
Yes.
person as well. He also said 1-0. So we've got a full house. Are you still feeling 1-1?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Well, not definitely. It's nothing, of course, it's nothing. Nowhere near close to definitely. But yes, that is by far and away my favourite scoreline, and I really fancy a draw for this one as well. And yeah, nothing I've seen since will dissuade me from that, certainly. And to be fair, given the number of players missing, I don't think it'd be the worst result in the world. I really don't.
Yeah, I fancy 1-0 still. I'm still sticking with it. It's the team you expect from Palace. Obviously not the one we expected from West Ham, but I guess the more when, we had 10 minutes when the lineup comes out before us going live, there's a 10-minute period. And the more I thought about it, the more it sort of made sense to me, which is we're just matching the formation Crystal Palace want to do. He's playing, to some extent, square pegs and square holes. Obviously, Adam Krasnodar is not a traditional centre-back. However, we've seen Graham Potter, he doesn't necessarily want 3 centre-backs per se. He likes a little bit of flexibility in there. If we need to change formation during the game, we can do. It will likely mean that Emerson goes left wing, Creswell goes left back. But we have the ability to do that. And he's shown us on more than one occasion, he's only been here 2 games, that he is willing to change formation and adapt it. He's willing, we saw Paqueta start through the middle against Fulham on his own. Then Kudus joined him centrally. And then Kudus went off and Paqueta went over to the right wing. So even just Paqueta sort of had 3 different roles in one match against Fulham. So I think Creswell allows in that flexibility in there. A bit of concern over our central midfield because of Eze and Sarr. I think they're both fast and direct. And we've shown that we will press high under Potter against Fulham. We weren't afraid to go and stand on the edge of their 18-yarder saying, come on, then we're going to push you here. You do that against Palace and you get it wrong, I think you can find yourself in trouble with Eze and Sarr running at your defence, or even Edson Alvarez and Rodriguez. So I think that's going to be a bit of a... And I think the battle of the day, if you like, might come over on our left side with Emerson and Munoz. I rate him quite highly. I think he's really good going forward, strong defensively. Emerson, good game against... I say good game. A decent game against Fulham, but not someone that's anywhere near the running for Hammer of the Year or anything like that. I think he's been quite poor coming into Potter arriving at West Ham, so I've got concerns over there slightly. But I'm looking forward to it, actually, because of Potter, because of how we played against Fulham. I'm feeling quite optimistic, and I was intrigued as to what we were going to do against Fulham. I don't have that because I feel confident as to what we're going to do today. But I'm interested to see how it works out, and I'm hoping Kudus can have a good game. He needs to have a good game.
Yeah.
He's the one player, I think, come on. The other ones that were a little bit flaky under Lopetegui have put in a good performance under Potter already, like Edson Alvarez and Lucas Paqueta. They're showing that, they're back, if you like. And it's only 2 games. It's not enough. We need to see more. But with Kudus, I'm still waiting to see that he's, you've had a good 45 against Villa, then a bad one. Then you were okay against Fulham, then you got subbed off. Can we have a good performance today for the duration of your time on the pitch? So that would please me, Gonzo.
Yeah, he definitely funny. Yeah, I mean, I didn't miss him off on purpose when I was talking about the list of players that Potter has had an immediate impact on. Yeah, he wasn't in there, so it'd be nice for him to sort of come along as well. And he's more important than ever because we have so few attacking players. So you'd really, in terms of opening up the defence, I'm not talking about, if you're talking about popping a goal in the back of the net, yes, Souček's there. In terms of opening up a defence, you do, I know, see 2 of their things were errors, which I know, obviously, Danny Ings, particularly on the second one for Paqueta, forced that error. But you are looking for someone to either do a defence splitting pass. Okay, we've got Paqueta in there for that. Or you're looking for someone to dribble past and do some creating on that way. So, or may I say, and this is the other thing, I don't know if you remember when England were playing in the summer, and I was talking about Southgate, and he didn't seem to have any. As we come against teams, they seem to have coached patterns of play, very much interchanging, very much. They were making these triangles, they're making these shapes, they were getting down past England, and when I was looking at other teams, they seem to be coached. Whereas I got the impression with Southgate, for instance, he was just chucking good players on there, saying, "Go on, do something." All right, use your almost like the Kevin Keegan school of coaching, which is, I'm going to pick talented players, and his instruction was go out there and drop hand grenades on the pitch. Well, yeah, okay, that's all well and good, but I do wonder if we're going to see, after however many days it's been on the training pitch, we're going to actually see some coached attacks with players being in sort of pre-arranged positions and stuff like that. So maybe we find a way through on there. But if we are going to, obviously you're still dependent on some individual talent, and Kudus a massive part of that. So I feel he needs to have a game if we're going to win today.
Yeah, right. Just a reminder, the graphic on the screen for the West Ham team isn't what we think it's going to happen. It looks like Wan-Bissaka right wing back, Emerson left wing back, Paqueta up front, and then Kudus and Souček in the number 10s. We don't, that's not our graphic. That's from Opta Stats. Anyway, before we turn into the live chat for 10 minutes and take some comments, it's mail time at Hamish Chat again. We like showing off what we've got here at Hamish Chat because we give it away on Patreon. Although this is going to be given away on a YouTube video next week or the week after. This one arrived today. This is from Canning Town Len. And so he left me a little note. He says, "Hi Gio, I thought you might like to give this painting to one of your subscribers. I thought it may be nice for people to see it in the flesh, in case people thought I was AI. Jay." There you go. It's a painting of our new manager, Graham Potter.
Wonderful. So clever.
That's
so good.
That's by Canning Town Len. And as he's asked, we're going to give it to someone. So myself and Gonzo will be doing a live video next week or the week after on YouTube. And during that video, we will give that away to somebody that's watching. But got a parcel that arrived today. Do you want to see it, Gonzo? Do you want to see what's inside? Right.
Of course I want to see what's inside.
We've got a couple of items in here. So these will be given away over on our Patreon. And yes, this is kind of a plug for Patreon. This is item number 1.
Beautiful.
From the last season at Upton Park.
Beautiful.
Signed by the entire squad. So it contains Mark Noble, Manuel Lanzini, Dimitri Payet. There you go. Noble's is right in the middle there. That's Mark Noble's signature. I recognise that one. Just above it, you've got Aaron Creswell. I recognise that one. So I recognise quite a few signatures these days because of everything we do. There's Michael Antonio. But anyway, the entire squad is on here. Someone's done a smiley face in theirs, and I think it might be Demi's, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll show it to the camera, which is the one that people can see on YouTube. Gonzo might not be able to see it. He's got a different camera.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
There's a smiley face in that one. So that's T-shirt number 1. And then we've got T-shirt number 2, which is the first season at the London Stadium. So perhaps not as quite a memorable time, but we still had the same players. We still had Manuel Lanzini, Mark Noble, Dimitri Payet. So got that there. So 2 historical.
Cheku Kiati.
Yeah, 2 historical shirts in there. And then this one, I might keep this one, Gonzo. I might need to ask you if I can keep this one and frame it for myself because it's the home shirt, the last ever season Upton Park, signed by the squad.
I think you should.
We hardly ever keep them, do we? Me and you.
Honestly, we never do. We never do. I've got honestly that all there. I told you what one I want.
Yeah, you might just wait.
Oh, I say, matron.
Mario, thanks for teeing us up, Mario. We'll take this as a way of promoting Patreon. Can you watch Patreon videos through YouTube? Kind of. You will need to go into YouTube, onto Patreon. It's a different platform entirely. However, when we put up, say, we do the player ratings on Monday morning, we'll do the player ratings on YouTube, but you have to get the link over on Patreon. When you go into Patreon, you can just click the link and it loads up on YouTube. So kind of yes, you can watch on YouTube, but you've got to go get it from Patreon. If any of you fancy supporting channel from 90p per week, that includes VAT. It's £3 before. Go to patreon.com/samchat. If you're unsure, you don't know what it's about, If you're a little bit like Mario, you don't know if it'll load up on YouTube or anything like that, you can have a week's trial for free. Try it for a week. See, you can work out how it works out, and at the end of the week, you can decide whether to continue with this or that you don't fancy it anymore. But thank you very much to everybody and anybody that has signed up. Appreciate it a lot. Right then, let's start taking your comments in the live chat. Terry said, it's nice to be looking forward to a game again. Can't wait to see what Potter can do when we get our attacking players available. Mike is saying Len is a legend with the pen.
He is incredible. I was actually, the reason I was looking there, I was trying to see if I could tilt the angle so as you can see my Alec Guinness Cannon Town Len painting, but you can't. But he is magnificent.
Yeah, I've got a painting over there from Len, which is for sale on the store. Well, go get it. Do you want it?
You get it. Go and get it. Because I do want to. You can get stuff commissioned as well. I've shown it on a couple of times. I'll show it again because when I've got my new dog Zippy now, the dogs that I had previously, very, very sadly lost him. He did a beautiful oil or acrylic painting. It don't matter. Beautiful paintings of them. Really captured them as well. So, he'll paint your animals. I don't mean he'll put emulsion on your cat. I mean he'll paint a lovely picture of your animals, portraits, lovely stuff. I've got. Honestly, it's right around there. Sir Alec Guinness. Well, Obi-Wan Kenobi to you. Holding a bottle of whiskey, a bottle of bourbon, no doubt. But yeah, we got some lovely stuff. Go and check it out. Canning Town Lens Studio. But we got stuff on our store, hammerschatstore.com with Lens stuff.
Yeah.
He's a very, very naughty boy. Nice boy. Very naughty boy.
Yeah, his video last week was naughty, but it was fun.
That was funny.
Mario said it's funny how a change in manager and tactics and a win in 2 games changes the mood. Mate, I got more positive after getting beat by Aston Villa.
It's true, isn't it? It's absolutely true. I'll tell you what, I will say this. But Hammer Moulder's saying if J-Lo had come out with that line, all hell would have broken out. He is absolutely, you're absolutely right. And it's about, it just goes to show it's all about. See, the thing is, and I totally agree. I don't look at the line and I think, really, that's brilliant. Like, oh my goodness, that's awful. But it's all about competency as well. And I think Lopetegui was so incompetent. He could have put out a team far more attacking than that or more defensive than that, and it still would have looked incompetent. Whatever it is that Potter's got planned today, I'm very, very sure that they will execute whatever it is. But I totally agree. I totally agree. But they are massively different, and you've already seen that just in the way Lopetegui and Potter is. I said that on the breakfast show. We did our Patreon breakfast show this morning. Lopetegui's starting to look worse by the week, isn't he, at the moment? So, anyway, let's just pull up another one here. Ross says, looking forward to life under Pot Dog. I'm known for being optimistic and not beat it out of me. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I think that's West Hamitis as well. I don't just think it's Lopetegui. Andrew Bolton's dog looks like an Ewok. Oh, mine is looking increasingly like an Ewok, actually. Potter hasn't got a choice. Loppy did. This is exactly right. I don't think always Lopetegui always picked bad teams. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was the way they played that was the problem with a lot of it. Bo Gold says, well, Potter is good tactically, so subpar players can do well in a good system. That they can, and I think he is. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even saying that they're subpar, but I think he definitely. I love this. Sorry. Let me do right because the badge is so good on West Ham Wiki. Big thing I love about Potter so far is he allowed players to play football. Exactly, not constantly confusing them with tactics. Maybe, and you know what? Maybe just maybe, he just is able to convey his tactics. I think it was Irvin that said communication's better. He understands what's being coached. I paraphrase, of course. Sorry, Gio.
Right, I've got my painting from Land. This is not mine. It's for sale in the store, but I might not get a short off again because we had 2 and someone bought the other one. This is by...
Beautiful.
There you go. Painting of Sir Trev with the FA Cup, but look at the trophy. It's signed by Sir Trevor Brooking as well. So this painting was done by Canning Town Line. It's hand-painted. And then it's been signed by the legend himself. So it's literally the only one in the world of this one.
Yep.
We did have another one of Sir Trev, signed by Sir Trev, but that one's sold. And we've got one of Julian Dix, which me and Gonzo got signed by Julian Dix.
And it was sorry, it was slightly just contradictory stuff. The other one of Sir Trev was slightly different. It wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was a completely different. It was the other photo of Sir Trev with the trophy and whatnot, and both of them signed by Sir Trevor Brooking. But if you go into the store, you can see there's a photo of Sir Trevor Brooking holding that painting. So there's your authenticity. No certificate, but you can have a picture of Sir Trevor Brooking holding the painting. Take your pick. Anyway, right, let's see what they said in the live chat. Not sure why Creswell over Soufal. Well, who would you prefer, Gonzo?
Well, in Potter's system, I prefer Cresswell.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we saw Soufal against Villa trying to play it, and it was ugly.
Yeah.
Thank you to Brian for the $5. Says, remember, sometimes you throw all the leftovers in a pot and come up with a tasty meal. I'm in for seconds.
And that's not the first time you've said that. That is not only that's not only seconds in both sense, Brian.
Give him his flowers, Gonzo.
Absolutely.
For those that's not tuning in, Brian said that on Tuesday night when the team come out, and then obviously we went on to beat to beat Fulham. Jake says, Head says a draw, Hart says a win. Either would be okay, all things considered. Mark saying we should do an auction for the painting. It's there to buy. I think it's a reasonable fee for what it is. It supports two creators, it supports Canning Town Lane. We've bought it off Canning Town Lane, and we bought two off Canning Town Lane. We're selling them both. So it supports both of us, but it's a very good it's very unique. Steve was at the final and saw that Sir Trevor Brooking. So it's a fantastic photo. Hasib would be happy with a draw. I would be okay with a draw, but I don't know. I've just got. I wouldn't take one, but in the sense that some games you say, would you take a draw now? And the game doesn't go, yes, please. But today I said, no, I'm gambling. I'm willing to gamble because I think we could come away.
Because you have hope. That's the thing.
I do. I've got a lot of hope.
That's what Potter's given you is hope.
Yeah, because I feel confident that tactically we'll be set up well. I feel confident that players will know what's required of them tactically within the system as well. I feel hopeful that it will be enough to beat Crystal Palace, and I feel optimistic that enough of the players will play well enough in order to beat Crystal Palace. Paqueta scored 2 goals in 2 games under Potter. That's I mean, how many did he score in 2024? I genuinely don't know this stat. Probably 3 or 4 goals.
Penalties.
Take away pens. Not many from open play, nor not many assists. So a couple of goals already, and
if he wins this, it is very miraculous. I thought it was miraculous to get the win last week, and I said that before the game. If he does that with that team, if he does it again with not his choice players at his disposal, it would be very impressive. You have to really stand up and take notice if he got back-to-back wins with the squad this decimated by injury. It'd be incredible.
Yeah. Mike was asking who L. Tollington is on the graphic. It's Paqueta. It's his real name. They put their real name up.
Confused me first time I saw it.
The number 10's a bit in the Brazil flag can be a bit of a giveaway though.
Yeah.
So I get it. If it was just the name, I'd think. Well,
this is we got Tollinson now. Since Potter came in, he's Tollinson. Oh, Paqueta. Oh no, we say whether it's a Paqueta or Paqueta. It's Tollinson. He's the boy. That's the one you want. He's a goal scoring midfielder.
That debate's gone. Anyway, Gonzo, can I leave you to do some clicking? Well, the West Ham graphics fixed now, so that's good. And I will do some fidgeting.
You fidget and I'll click. They're 2 similar things. Stuart said, whatever formation, whatever lineup isn't refreshing to look forward to watching a game again. It really is. Not just refresh. It's not just that it's refreshing. You look forward to it. It's the contrast between how bad it was before and how much you didn't look forward to it. It was you're absolutely right. Neil says he said it was a false number 9 on Tuesday. Oh, hold on. What's all this here? Damien says, in 2 minds whether to bother watch us or not. I'm finding it hard to get excited about strikerless football. I half know what you mean, mate. I really do. But he's not. The thing is, he's making these players play differently, and I do think you're almost going to see Paqueta and Souček as strikers and a lot of time in this game. So I don't think, technically we are strikers. I also think you're going to see, like Gio alluded to earlier, a Wan-Bissaka going forward. Look at Wan-Bissaka's assist for in the last game. He's got defensive players, but he's sort of getting a tune out of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see something from Alvarez today as well. So, but I know what you mean. It's sort of like Hammer Mulder was saying, if you'd have seen this lineup under Lopetegui or even Moyes, you'd have said, "Oh, for goodness sake!" But I do think we should hopefully get a little bit more out of it. And it's just a real shame, because we got the smallest glimmer of the vision with Fulkrug and in Somerville. And Fulkrug last 13 minutes, Somerville lasted a half. And now we're sort of, because of Bowen going out, we're stuck with what we got. But I tell you what, very much looking forward to seeing Jared Bowen in a Graham Potter team. That's for sure. Greg says, I think that Potter is developing the players, so perhaps be more creative. I think he's going to bring that out of them. Certainly is the case. Michael says, Brooking walks on water. Certainly does. What a bloody player he was. Lucas hasn't been so positive all season. We should aim higher, expect to win. Look, I do want to say this, because we get a lot of stick as West Ham fans that we're miserable and we're happy moaning. You've only got to look at the chat. We're not happy moaning. We'd rather be pleased, because look at the type of things, people are saying. Right, what else have we got here?
I think, sorry to jump in, to justify that, there's been some games in the build-up show where the team comes out, we have a grumble, and we just go completely off on a different topic. And a few games ago, we were discussing everyone's Football Manager credentials in the live chat, and it was like it was almost people were sick of moaning about the game. So let's talk about something else that actually is a little bit more fun, a little bit more upbeat. And then when kickoff happens, we'll get back to moaning and groaning. So I think actually, I get what you're saying, but I think that's a bit of that's my example.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing, isn't it? That's more evidence that we don't want to moan and groan. We'd rather talk about something. That was bloody good, by the way. Everyone's Football Manager teams. We played. How do you say that? B Gaines 07. We played Fulham, and now playing Palace. Who do you think is the better team out of the two? I'll let you know in a couple of hours' time, mate.
Yeah, I think Fulham. I think Fulham are more organised. I think Palace are maybe more attacking. I think Fulham are more organised. So did it on Tuesday. Hopefully we can do it again. Anyway, before myself and Gonzo disappear, don't you go anywhere, because we've got the watch along coming up. So please do drop a like on the video by clicking the thumbs up. We could get 1,000 likes on the video. That would be fantastic. Please subscribe to the channel. Anyway, Gonzo, did you say you were sticking with one? Yeah, Gonzo was sticking with 1-1. I'm sticking with 1-1. And Dan, the Palace fan, also said 1-1. Whether we're right or not, I'll catch you at full time. Gonzo will catch you a little bit later over on the forum channel. But don't go anywhere. Nick and Northie, it's over to you. Take it away.
Thank you very much, mate. I'm going for 2-1. I'm feeling a bit confident.
Wow. Mental. No, I mean, that hat's too tight. That's the problem.
Well, it has to be with these massive earphones I've got. But I think, when the side come out, I was a bit like, not sure. But I've just got that confidence and that trust instantly. I've just instantly bought into Potter. And we know it's going to take time. He's not going to do it instantly. But I just think confidence is there a bit. And I'm feeling optimistic about this one.
I'd like to feel like that. It looks great. It looks like a nice, the hat, the headphones, the optimism, the confidence. They're all things that I'd be happy to implement in my life. But you've still got our defense. Palace like to score their goals. They do cross it in sometimes, but their recent goals have been scored. They quite like to counter-attack, and they like to attack through the middle, and they like Eze to play a through ball to Mateta, and our, Mavropanos, Kilman, Cresswell. Obviously, Cresswell is old. Mavropanos is a goal somewhere, and Kilman is just not good in the box. I don't want to be just a general naysaying twat, just pissing on our Potter bonfire. But it's just when you see it in the box, the goals that we've let in, obviously, they were in the Lopetegui reign, so we can kind of discount them. But when the ball goes into the box, Kilman's not great when it's moving around at his feet. So that's the only thing that, the way they attack and the way we defend, I can see them getting a couple of goals, put it that way.
Yeah, I think that's why he's put an extra defender in there, though, because they're very good on the counter. But I think they're a team with limited match winners. So I think that Potter's just trying to negate those match winners. So it's going to be tight. I think there's some optimistic. Actually, I think they're pretty. When I'm looking at the chat here, there's 4-3 West Ham from Riaz, which would be nice. Mark Watson's gone 2-1. So I don't think anyone's going 4-0. I can't see many 4-0s, 5-0s. So I think everyone's saying it's probably 1 or 2 goals in it, which, I think it leads it to be a tight game. Do you know, I think the games between Palace are always well fought. I think they're always, there's a lot of battling in these type of games. It's one of those teams.
They often turn up against us.
They do. What do you think of Palace? There's certain teams when you play them, like Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, we can't stand them. Palace is one of those London teams that I kind of don't mind. Like, I don't think there's much of a kind of rival. Do you think that? What are your thoughts on Palace?
Yeah, I don't. I mind them less than they used to. I think they used to try and be too quirky. They just did that too much. But I think what happened is, I think my hatred for Arsenal grew more than it ever did before, and that just took some negative energy and just hateful bile away from any other club, and gave it a nice kind of channel to go to. This comment was a while ago, but I saw it just before Gio left. I know Keanu's like fuming that it didn't get up. So do you think our players have a Highland Spring in their step going into the game? If anyone wasn't here last week, that's just because Gio drinks what can only be described as a ridiculous quantity.
A reservoir.
A sheer reservoir of branded Highland Spring bottled water. So like the bottled part, that's the obvious pun. If you can think up any other puns for the amount of bottled water that Gio drinks, then absolutely put them in the chat. Gary Jace's problem is it doesn't take much to get our fans moaning. That's a bit of a moan, Gary. So you've proven yourself. You've proven yourself directly right as the subject
Go on, Gary.
object.
Get up for it, son.
Of that claim.
I know. Look, Creswell being in the back line is kind of the worry. And I did see this comment, which I wanted to again ask you about and ask others about. We need Maguire. He's someone when those kind of rumours started long, it feels like seasons ago now, when there's a potential that we could have got him. He is someone that I thought would have been good for us. And I still think he would. What are your thoughts on him?
On Eze?
No, Maguire. Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. No, 100% no. Definitely no.
Better than Mavropanos, though? Better than Kilman? I think he's better than, not Tadibo, but probably better than most of our defenders.
Yeah, but better than Mavropanos is, we need to go like a
bar.
chunk better
low bar
than Mavropanos. No, I don't think so. I was watching Newcastle Bournemouth just now, just amazed at what Iraila's done to Bournemouth. Also, I don't want to let this one go. George Cantor says the headphones almost make it look like the hat says dad balls.
Would you do
that?
Actually,
if anyone did think it says dad balls, it says odd balls. That's the branding of the hat. It can be purchased on the Hammers Chat store. Don't forget, even if you're watching on a mobile device, just minimize the chat section for a minute and just tap the thumbs up like button. That's all you'll be asked to do today. Divas says slightly nervous and confident at the same time.
Yeah, so. I totally get that. Like, looking at the team, you're like, it's not great. You probably look at that team and think over the summer, who do we need to replace? And there's probably quite a few of them. But I just think, I don't think we were fantastic last week. Obviously, look, we rode our luck, but we pressed them and we won possession high up the pitch and got the goals from it. So I think that hopefully we're getting that new manager bounce off a new manager, which we haven't had for ages. And I don't know. I just think it's going to be an interesting second half of the season. Like, the season's done. We're out of everything. So this is just his kind of very long pre-season to really assess the ones he wants there and the ones he don't. But I think we will pick up good wins along the way.
Yeah, the Soler on the bench thing, I thought that was a bit odd, but I don't know, maybe Potter just thought there wasn't really that much to change things during that difficult second half. So I don't know if he's done that to at least, if he can get Soler on with 35, 40 minutes to go, he might do something else. Grelch basically also sums up what I was saying, Palace, okay, that like the drums in the ultra section, like anyone who pretends to just like, let's just, just copying something else that exists, like Arsenal with just wearing black and waving flags, just copying something that isn't in your history. No. But Arsenal are just too much worse than Palace at that.
Yeah, I went to years ago. I went to see Parma versus Lazio, and was those ultras, Lazio ultras. Yeah, they take they're 20 levels above anything in the UK. They're fucking nuts. So
yeah,
they're not really ultras. They're passionate fans, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, at least like that's the thing. At least they're real fans. So I was thinking this the other day. Like some people also don't understand. They confuse why West Ham are called a family club, and it's not because of what people might first think about the club itself and the environment. I think it's because you only really support West Ham if you're a very particular person. You've actually made the choice yourself, and you just like pain, or your family member has brought you into it, which means that when you go to the game and there are the people in the stands, usually, like the grandparent, father, kid, or whatever. So that's why it's a family club. So it's kind of the same thing with Palace, even though they're annoying and their whole like oh Palace song that obviously I won't sing is a bit annoying, but at least they must be supporting it for a reason, not just like, let's say again, like Arsenal fans, or these days, let's say Liverpool fans, who have nothing to do with the club, but just choose it.
Yeah. Also, Logan's just put up here who's on the bench, and on the bench is Areola, Soler, Soufal, Guilherme, Ings, Irvine, Casey, Scholes, and Orford. Because I was thinking, why is Somerville not there? So I'm assuming he must have picked up a knock. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, he was always going to be what they said is touch and go for this game. So we've still got, I think Villa away on the next Sunday, maybe 4:30 p.m. or something. So obviously that gives him another 8 days. Also, Villa are playing in Europe, I think, on the Tuesday. I forgot who. I did look it up anyway. So that would be nice. But yeah, the Somerville miss, as long as he comes back fit for the Villa game, that would be pretty fine.
Zanita says, how much do you lot rate Emerson going forward? I'd back Wan-Bissaka more to beat a man. I mean, definitely I'd back Wan-Bissaka more. Emerson's okay. I mean, he scored that worldie of a free kick this season, which I don't know where that came from. So wouldn't mind him getting a few, but I'm not convinced. I think he's an okay player. I think he's a squad player. He's not someone that I'd ship out for sure. I don't think he's amazing, but he's definitely a decent Premier League player.
Yeah, I think it depends what his opinion is. Like if he's happy, it's a difficult one because you don't know if the player's going to be too proud. If Scholes comes in and Scholes gets minutes or starts ahead of him, he seems to be fine. I think he seems to be fine. He seems to be settled, especially if Paqueta stays. Then I think Emerson could definitely be like a decent. That's my dog going mental. A decent rotation between Scholes and Emerson is quite nice because you don't want to do like throw in Scholes every game, even from the beginning of next season anyway. So that it could possibly work as the perfect left back switch in and out. The fact, obviously, Cresswell's going, Soufal will presumably go. I guess to David Moyes' Championship Everton team would be a nice thing. That's probably like your like dream scenario, being a hater of Everton and a disliker of David Moyes.
Yeah, what double bubble? That'll be that'd be amazing. Yeah, I'd love it if Moyes was playing in a lovely new stadium in the Championship and just getting battered every week. I mean, that's the stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah, Mark says, wonder if he'll bring on Soler for not controlling the midfield. Yeah, I think Soler will definitely come on anyway. So yeah, Mark also on that point says should have played a young player.
Yeah, I mean,
Cresswell, I think maybe Cresswell is the player that will change with Soler if Potter's idea is to at least let's just say be drawing at half time, then Cresswell off, Soler on. At least that changes things in a positive way, rather than if Soler starts and then you're kind of looking back at the bench at minute 55 and 60, thinking, "Oh God, all I've got to do is like Cresswell to throw on." So I'm hoping it's something like that. Cresswell did fine. Like he didn't really obviously get many minutes in the last game, but he did. At least he put his all into it when Fulham were really battering the box and they had that chance, which that number 20 should have put away. and then someone else absolutely skewed it over. Cresswell was quite instrumental in at least making sure that first chance, which the number 20 didn't connect with anyway, but Cresswell was there at the time. And then when that ball flew over the net, Cresswell celebrated. I also saw last game, which I don't think has been commented on anywhere, after the first goal, Potter pointed at someone, gave a thumbs up, and it wasn't clear who that was, but that was actually to Alvarez, because it was Alvarez's press that made the Fulham player pass it over to Soler for the goal anyway. So I thought that was another good thing. Obviously, he's been talking a lot about Paqueta, that it's quite obvious that he's a player that needs the arm round, carrot not stick, needs to feel the love, all those kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. DC's posed a good question. Is it the worst dump in the Premier League, Selhurst Park?
I mean, Shite Hart Lane is the obvious.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a place you'd hate to go. Is there a worse ground than Selhurst Park in the Premier League? Just trying to think. I've not been to
Old Trafford. I mean, just in pure hatred nonsense terms. I mean, obviously, he's correct in pure dumpishness stakes. But then at least it's a dump filled with real football fans or something. Not like Old Trafford. Some might say the London Stadium, a bit touristy these days, but I don't know if we should get into that or not, seeing as I've basically been hearing nothing about the concessions conversation coming up. So I don't even know if that has a chance in hell of changing anything.
Do you say on this game you were going for a draw? Do you agree with the others being 1-1, or do you think we'll nick it?
I have to say, yeah, I still go 2-2. I just think they've got. If our defence doesn't let in 2 goals, that's a miracle in itself. I know Gonzo earlier said very miraculous if we win, which makes a draw somewhat miraculous, I suppose. Eze's got a goal in him. Mateta,
yeah.
Again. I mean, I did watch the Leicester Palace. Palace were, you'd have to say, lucky. I think Palace did a bit more than ride their luck to get that 2-0, because at 1-0, Leicester had at least 3 chances they definitely should have put away, and they hit the crossbar and the post at 1-0 down. So they didn't get anything out of it, and then obviously they just let in a very, very weak goal off a simple free kick and then a smack in from 5 yards away to make it 2. So that said, yeah, around our box, Kilman's not that bad, but he just sometimes does weird things. Like for the Leicester second goal, I think it was, when he did that weird jump backwards, and for the Haaland goal, City away, when he just went to where the ball was coming from instead of Haaland was behind him, and that's where the cross was going anyway. So there's just a couple of small moments that I just don't have that confidence defensively. But I think the players will be up for it. I think the fight and energy will be there. I think obviously Paqueta 2-2. I don't see why Paqueta can't do 3-3 if he's in the mood. It feels like he really owes us something. If he can just get his head switched on and make the right decisions at the right time. So I think we can get a couple, but I think so can they.
Yeah, the players are just walking out as we have 2 minutes to go. So,
to answer this question here, why so much hate for Moyes? Hate is maybe too strong. It's more dislike, and the reason is the endless snipes that he's taken just against us since he's left. He hasn't. If he'd taken the high road, it's like fair enough, smile, wave him off into the sunset, thanks for everything. I didn't have a problem with him at the time he left, but since then he just went on pretty much every podcast going, having a chat with the West Ham haters of the world, particularly Simon Jordan, Sam Allardyce, anyone who would listen to him complaining about what hard luck and how he did everything for us, not taking into account what we did for him at that time. It worked both ways, but nothing about that came about. So yeah, anyone who's too negative about West Ham is on my dislike list.
Yeah, TalkSport are always banging on about bad West Ham. And look, don't get me wrong, they probably hate the chairman and the way we run the club, and we're not fans of that ourselves. But yeah, it just seems to be everything, and they're all lovers of Moyes. Oh, we love Moyes. You can't do any wrong. He's the best manager. Blah blah blah. And then he goes over the World Cup, signs for them. So obviously they were just buttering him up because I knew he was joining the channel for a bit. So I just hate him because of the way he played. I just thought it was just boring, and the cup masked. Everyone thinks he's good because he won that cup, which I don't rate as well, which I know upsets people. So I won't go on about that one because we will soon be kicking off. I'm just looking at the line. You're right. Look, Paqueta seems rejuvenated. I think he'll just his confidence is coming back. Kudus is the one for me that really needs to do something. Although he did start to pass, so Kudus was doing a bit more passing in the last game, and I think if he can just get his head up, then I think that's when we're on a winner.
Presumably, game's kicked off, so I need to get up a text-based link so that I can accurately read about what is happening in this game. Also, I need to make myself a cup of tea, although I could.
Also, with the thoughts as well. It'd be great to get people's thoughts or comments on Fabianski versus Areola as keeper, kind of long term. Not just I'm talking about this game, but just long term. If either of them should be a regular number one, or we should ship one out and get a new number one, and that's one of those becomes a number two. I'm not overly convinced, but it'd be great to hear what you guys think. Come to some of the channels and comments here. Yeah, Mark says Sullivan is a joke for chairman. He needs to sell up, as so do the other owners as well. It's kind of who do you sell to? That's the only thing. Who do you sell to? And it's, you know.
Okay, I seem to have some form of text to read about what highly accurate things that are happening. As in the first 30 seconds, it's already a bit scrappy. Kudus pressing centrally up top. Paqueta's pressing on the right. It seems that and Souček is pressing on the left right now. I don't know if that's just because of how the ball dropped, but that's what it looks like happening. Wan-Bissaka's pressing high up right, and Alvarez is also pressing centrally.
I mean, do you think this is just we are going to look to sit back and soak up the pressure in this game? And that's just the way you set it up.
No, hard to tell in the first minute, but I don't think so. Just because if Palace players are knocking it around near their 18-yard line, we've already got 6 players in their half, which is like a semi-press. If anyone wants to make a joke about that.
Andy said, remember that Fabianski used to be called Flapianski. He was by the Arsenal fans, wasn't he? He's been good for us. He has been good for us, but he's the oldest player in the league. So, yeah, he can't be a long-term choice, and I'm not convinced by Areola. Dave, apparently Trip Smith generally wants to buy the club. He won't pay Sullivan the interest on the loans he made to the club, which is way above what the bank interest would be. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, first 2 minutes is basically been Palace knocking around on the edge near their area. They slightly try to push forwards now by passing through the middle, which we worryingly seem to let them do. And then Eze spreads it outright. Gets it back, and then terrible shot, but that was way too easy, and then precisely what we don't want to see. Just then passing it through when we've got a packed midfield.
Yeah, who's number 19 at them?
And then just Rodriguez already looks a bit slow.
I mean, he is the worry one, isn't he? Some of the comments here. Nigel says, a bit concerned about our defence and not my first choice of keeper. Is there a keeper, Nigel, that you would particularly want us to buy? Like you know, one that we could get. Who would your choice be?
Good pass from Kilman out to Kudus. Nice run forwards. Spreads it. Paqueta's already on the right when Kudus spreads it. Comes back to Kudus in the middle. Interesting positioning by Paqueta, based on the right wing now.
Yeah, they were interchanging the last game as well. Kudus
plays it in well, but keep it slightly too close to the keeper. Decent effort. DC brings up the name Super Potty, which is a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, someone else said the Podfather or the Potfather or something else earlier. What's the new nickname? We need a nickname for Graham Potter. So put your best suggestions in the chat.
Yeah, the thing with Areola is his only weakness is Johnny says he's
a mute.
has pedigree. It's a bit weird, but it's just his weaknesses with his feet as well. But surely you could train that. You know, it doesn't have to be the most beautiful footballing goalkeeper there ever was, but just a bit of an improvement in distribution. It's not asking for that much.
I don't know. For me, he's too quiet. I like my keepers to be gobby and boss the
That
defense.
also feels like it's trainable as well. Like it's coachable to tell him when to give instructions and what instructions or something like that. I don't know. Just for shot stopping, I just think he's such a good shot stopper.
Yeah, he's that's yeah. But I think any keeper, that should be a given for any keeper, shot stopper. It's the things that go above that kind of make you elevate you. I don't know. For me, I'm not convinced. I don't think is our not long-term number one. But
yeah, I mean, if there are obviously better out there, or if there is, you know, a good like bench keeper that's just warming the bench of another club, as still, yeah, I mean, Palace just they're bringing it up to the halfway line without any press at this point, and then they just put it back around their back 3 or 4. So pretty slow pace in the first 5 minutes.
how far off the official clock on the graphic are you? How far behind?
About 30 seconds. And also, to remind everyone, it takes about 30 seconds for our comments to hit YouTube if you wonder why we're that behind.
I always wonder how accurate that is. Is anybody else on that? Is anybody on 6 minutes, 9 seconds? I know it's going to be delayed now, but if is anyone on the time that is on that graphic? Miles has said, Valles of La Palmas in the summer, looking for as a new goalkeeper, perfect for Potter football. Not what I've heard of, I'll be honest, so I'll have to look that one up.
Miles Holder. Upcoming scout. Peter Jordan says, I'm actually a big fan of the owners. I remember during the transfer window believing it was one of our best. It hasn't worked out as planned by the owners, but money for transfer. Fair enough, Peter. What do you think about the concession ticket issue? The question to Peter Jordan at that point. It's, I mean, this name is hard to read out. Even someone as immature and nonsensical as I, could I suggest Hammy Potter? It's not bad. I don't think he'll take on, but Joe Saunders, absolutely high and arrogant there, just living in the future. It's a cruise life, 5 seconds behind. Wow, not bad. Shamrock Dens, I'm not sure. Is that legal? Would that be legal?
It'd be interesting. Be confusing for the decision making whether to come or not for a cross, I think.
I mean, Carl Stokes, I've seen the Kelleher thing before. It says wants to leave. Depends. Depends if they do. Always hard to know, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of Liverpool fans like him, but he does split others. But then you've got Alisson to compare him with, so maybe not a fair comparison. And you've got the Liverpool defence in front.
Yeah, games descended in the last 2 minutes into a relatively dumpy affair. Palace aren't really too keen on pressing us. We almost beat their press. I think was that handball by Kudus there? No? Okay. Brilliant turn by Kudus. Hopefully he does more of this on the right wing, so that's where he likes to be. I mean, it's nice play. We had it at the back and we played it out really well all the way to their box. Oh, obviously, Wan-Bissaka smashed into the ground. Wasn't ideal. Cresswell was in the box. First time he's been there in 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jonathan Davis thing. Obviously, that Angel Gomez thing, absolutely amazing player. It's like a dream signing if we could get him.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a long time, though, isn't it? Nothing's going to happen to the end of the... I can't see it. I don't know what wages on. He must be on mega wages as well.
Dean says, been kicked off 8 minutes. Anything happened? No, I mean, Palace strolled through our midfield too easily once. We had an okay cross, and we probably just had kind of our best chance of the game a minute ago. But we played it forward very nicely. So I think, yeah, both teams just patient. in the feeling each other out phase of the game. Some pressing occasionally, but sometimes even, this early on, either defense are just passing it around casually and not pressed. So it looks like both teams will take a draw at this point.
Very early days. Clayton says James Trafford could be a good shout. Burnley goalkeeper, only 22, so good one for the future. I mean, having someone like him under ours, but again, is he better than? I don't know. We need it. Let's get Potter's a fan of you. He already said that the our academy is going to be the heart of how we move forward. So getting a 22-year-old goalkeeper, why not?
Yeah, Keanu's bringing up vocab chat from the last game. So thanks for that. Laggy Sky, front lane to press together. Yeah, I just think at this stage they're reluctant. 0-0 first. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want to call it, as the first. Both teams are a bit reluctant to do anything like a full press. They're kind of biding their time. I mean, our press is different than before. You've still got Paqueta Kudus in front, and then behind them, Suchek Alvarez. And I don't want to see them go up too much because that's probably what Palace want us to do, so they can get Eze in some free space if possible. But yeah, last few minutes, not a footballing spectacular.
Yeah, so it's always going to be.
Yeah.
This
question by Ben we can't answer, but I think if you download Discord and on Discord look for Hammer's Chat, you might find some recommendations. Felix says, joining late, who's at left back? Well, it's a three of Mavropanos, Kilman, Cresswell, and then Emerson and Wan-Bissaka on the wings, as Mateta gets away a decent shot.
There's only been a couple of shots in this game. We've not had many passes, 42 passes, which isn't great for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it seems everyone's trying to recruit Dennis over to the dark side because he seems not to have a particular football team at the moment and is here as a fan of Graham Potter. So, okay, just there you go. You're a West Ham fan now. Sean says, do you think we've actually got a chance for David and Gomez? I think David, yes, Gomez, he's going to have a lot of people after him. I think he's absolutely amazing. I think Gomez and Mainu, or Mainu, whatever his name is, overshadow Rice for England in a year or two. That is my honest prediction, not just because of anything to do with Declan Rice and us. I just think Mainu and Gomez are better footballers than him. That's my prediction.
See, get some other chats here. There's quite a few chats about Jonathan David being a preferred one.
Yeah, well, I mean, transfer talk is quite welcome at the moment. First 12 minutes. Pretty boring game of football so far. And when we've had it, we did work it forwards well a couple of times. But then I guess we just were okay with making half chances rather than really focusing that the fact that we were in their final third. We just seemed to start in our defence, go all the way up to the other end of the pitch, and then just like try to make something happen rather than being like, hang on, we're at the other end of the pitch. Why don't we maybe play it around in final third? We haven't actually done that yet. That's my preemptive answer to DC's very rude and offensive question. Like you said, my son apparently doesn't support West Ham, supports Bowen. I mean, that's good because Bowen will stay with us. So that will be nice. I mean, we're about to have, which would have happened in the past now, but a free kick. Looking at the other fixtures, it's 0-0 in all of them.
AD has said, because we forgot to do this, apologies, people. First goal, when will the first goal be scored? Put your minute into the chat.
That is a tricky one.
I mean, yes, it's a tough one with this one.
Yeah, I mean, never is also
optimistic.
An option as Palace player brings down Alvarez. First goal. At the moment, it's very, very difficult to see one in this half. I mean, maybe I think we could if we could put something together, but it's just our pace of the game, and I think this probably happens when you've got a new manager in and a lot has been learned. Finally, putting the ball in the back of the net is probably going to be one of the lowest things down the manager's list based on the way that we're playing and the things that he needs to get us doing first as a priority of not shipping like 5 goals in. But being like wildly optimistic, I would say that we could get the first goal on the 29th minute.
Okay, I'm going to say 44th, just before half time.
It's a bit of optimism rising.
Peter says, I'm assuming this is in response to the concessions part. Stay competitive. Financially, prices have to increase. I mean, we are.
Are you part of the club's propaganda machine? I don't mind if you are. I don't disagree with opinions, but to stay, the question was answered 5 minutes ago, so I feel like you said, "What shall I say about this?" And the official line was, "To stay competitive, financially, prices have to increase."
I mean, we're still the second best. It's only Manchester United, isn't it? They get bigger gate receipts than West Ham in the Prem. So, do we need to increase? Surely the volume is there. Seeing as we're paying absolutely bugger all for the stadium anyway.
Yeah, I think smarter decisions. I think just not going and blamming 20 million here, 20 million there on however much went to Fulkrug, however much went to Guillaume. Even though I do agree that selling him is madness now he's actually already there. It seems to be a footballer. Neil says the biggest problem for me and what makes us watching so enjoyable to watch the most basic parts of the game, passing and movement, we've been terrible for years. Yeah, I believe Potter will get us better at that. That is my minimum hope.
Yeah, I hope he brings some of the youngsters through. Which is why it surprised me why he's put Emerson and Cresswell at left and not Scholes, who was man of the match for his first game. I thought it was quality. But
yeah, I mean, there's still like if Scholes has it, let's just say more energy, and if Emerson can't last the 90 with the players that we've got, if we're in the position to get Emerson and Cresswell off and Scholes and Soler on, that's more energy, that's more attacking.
Bogold said he's not enjoying this playing out from the back. It does always make me nervous. It does make me nervous. But
it does. I mean, like to our defense's credit, we've actually been fine every time the ball has gone in the box. Mateta got that one shot away that was like 16, 17 yards out. Apart from that, we've actually been fine in getting things out of the box.
The other part of that, if we don't play out the back and we just hoof it, and we've only got Kudus really that we're hoofing it to.
Yeah, Mark makes a good point. A bit of a chess situation going on between Glasner and Potter.
It's exciting as a chess match.
Yeah. we do pass it around the back in the two, Cresswell and Kilman, and then Mavropanos spreads very far right. And then obviously Emerson is spreading left. So when we've got possession, we become a 4 at the back. Like whatever happens above of that, whether you call that then 3-4-1-2, 3-4-2-1, or whatever. But in possession, Palace just desperately don't want to press us. And then when they've got possession, the same thing is happening, which from both teams is fair enough. But you'd almost think that the ref, if you don't have any volume, as I don't, and I'm reading text anyway, you would think that the game has been stopped sometimes. That's how static it is. Mavropanos bursting well up the right, does very well. Clearly didn't really come to much, but it was actually good from Mavropanos to actually, as an option to push us out, rather than playing it out. If it comes forward and no one comes onto him, he actually burst up like really well, brought us about 40, 50 yards up the pitch. As we get a corner in the time I am reading it.
Let's have a look at the players. I mean, the stats are not amazing at the moment in terms of possession. 62 to them, 38 to us. Definitely sitting back.
Let's see what happens at this corner.
Tender hooks. I know.
Crap cross. I kind of like the fact that Peter is is towing the party line, at least in let's just say with rationale and reasoning. DC, just shut up, Peter. It's just nice to see two sides of the coin of how people vary their offering their particular appointments. Very rancid is in the chat. I think Potter will switch up later. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, I mean, you can see between Peter and DC, he was on the school debating team.
I mean, DC. I think DC was on the masturbating team, just to speak in his language. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously the early days for Potter. I mean, like it is a boring game, but I don't have a problem with it being a boring game, because you can quite clearly see. Like I saw someone say in a comment on one of Gio Gonzo's videos in the week that it's nice to have a manager that you actually think knows more about football than you do. Obviously, Lopetegui was the extreme end of the scale. Even in managers we've had before, you just kind of like, you just worry that they can't see basic things. So, yeah, as a spectacle, it's been a slow 20 minutes. Although games slightly upped in tempo in the last few, we've had it in their box. We've had it in their half more. We've had more possession. I just think, obviously, we've been bitten so much by the counter-attack. As Paqueta brilliantly wins it back, then gives it away. But the effort was there to win it back. Yeah, I just think we've obviously been bitten so many times by a counter. It seems to be on the player's mind not to go gung-ho, which is fair enough. And we're basically just, I think both teams are trying to bide their time, smash and grab.
Yeah, I think Dean put a comment in there saying he feels we're going to score from a corner today. Probably could be. I think it'd be one of those games. It could be a set piece. Set piece could do it.
Yeah, still 0-0 in all three games, funnily enough.
Scrappy.
Say funnily enough, because I've got a couple of quid on both teams to score in all of those. So
I had Cliver in my my fantasy league team, so I was happy with the Bournemouth match.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a fantastic player. Definitely like him at West Ham if the need arose. Jeff says, do you think Potter likes to potter around the garden? Yes, I think he probably does. The act of pottering is actually fantastic for one's mental health, especially if you're ever having trouble sleeping. Put down the phone. Don't look at the phone or screens before bed, and just potter around the house. And your mind will slot what it needs to into place, and you will sleep better. Free wellbeing advice there.
Ren said, mentions, we still have that James Ward-Prowse question mark. I think he is better than Rodriguez. Again, just because I think Rodriguez.
Yeah, definitely. The way we're going now, there's nothing wrong to getting back, have him as a squad player. We start a new season with some optimism, and in theory, we might last more than one round of the Carabao and the FA Cup. And he's got goals from corners in him. That's a definite. So as a squad player, I think why not?
Yeah. The forgotten man, Jeff's mentioned Cornet. I know that was mentioned. Apparently West Ham absolutely do not want him back, which is totally understandable. Yeah, he's just I mean, they say he's a forgotten man. He was never remembered in the first place. He was such a nothing signing. Again, another complete waste of money. Our scouting department has to be the worst in the Prem. I can't think of many worse. That's dross and weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, peace is not pro-counterfeit, just realistic. I mean, different opinions are nice, as nice to have, and nice to hear rationale behind them, even though the concession ticket thing doesn't make sense at all. I mean, that's just something that's morally wrong because it's concession prices. So it's West Ham fans who've been giving to the club for a number of years. I mean, Peter, are you a fan of the Conservative Party? Would you prefer, what do you think about the pensioners not getting their winter payments? If you say what I think you might say, then things are going to be a bit different in this conversation.
City backs up what we're all thinking. This is woeful stuff at the moment. Yeah, it's
pretty bad. As long as we don't let a goal in, I don't care.
Yeah.
People talk of taking the draw. I might take a 0-0 just to have a clean sheet for the first time since the Palace game. I don't know. When was the last time we kept a clean sheet?
Yeah, a long time.
Oh, Southampton, but that barely counts because their terrible striker like hit the post twice, missed
Bambi.
several times. That barely counts as a clean sheet.
Yeah, he's a comedy. I think he's off. I think I read as well that either Galatasaray or Trabzonspor were after him, and I'm like, have you sent anyone to watch him? Like, he's so bad.
Maybe it was their basketball teams, but not their football ones.
So Banerjee says, I'm not sure say that again. I'm not sure what Rodriguez offers.
Yeah, but I think obviously we're only game 3 now, so it would make sense giving someone like Orford game time, but get some results. Get some results in, like, rather than just take any risk for people to point at. Yeah, I mean, Peter, you are trying to say that you're a true West Ham fan, but I'm not sure you're doing. I mean, I'm glad you're here because you give us something to analyse. Is Peter a West Ham fan, or is he going to wind up? It says Tim was hailed as a hero. That's not 100% true, Peter, because when the players were signed, Gonzo and Gio did explain who was responsible for what players. Yeah, we got excited. I don't think there's nothing wrong with getting excited. And when it didn't work, you find out why it didn't work and you get more information, then you can reassess your opinion about it. That's okay. Hasib says we're taking the sting out of Palace. Yeah, I think that's true. I think, or we could have just started a bit slow.
Yeah.
Now we've got into it and we need to realise.
But you know, again, slightly off, but I did watch the Newcastle-Bournemouth game earlier, and everybody, all the pundits was like, can't see anything but a Newcastle win here. Like, they're just absolutely on fire. Bournemouth are massively depleted with injuries, but they just went out and attacked. Like, they absolutely went at Newcastle and they just couldn't handle it. And, you know, the 4-1 winners, they bossed it. They were really good with youth players everywhere. So I'm always like, do we have to sit back? We're at home. Do we have to just always sit back and take the sting out of things? Can we not just go for it a bit? Everyone has injuries.
Yeah. The Guilherme, it just brings up the Guilherme situation again.
Someone
did say in a comment, like one of these like completely random hearsay things, which could have just been made up, that something like, not a West Ham person, but some kind of like real football journalist in Germany said that there might be like weird things related to the Guilherme deal or contract situation or something, which with us, nothing surprises me. And that might be the reason why he's not getting games, or people want to just get rid of him quickly in case people start asking questions. So, I mean, that kind of thing wouldn't surprise me. Just as Potter's wife gets fed up with him pottering around the kitchen. I mean, that's quite nice. That brings up quite a nice little comedy sketch that as soon as he gets home, he won't stop pottering. As Keanu wonders if Peter's a Karen Brady plant. Jonathan Wood has just joined to watch a pretty boring but okay game of football because we're not losing. That's fine.
Jonathan Dares said we need Bowen back ASAP. Yeah, we do.
See, this also, like Peter Jordan, it's not the party line. It's just a business. It has to be run like this. I was about to say on Money Mass in football. See, Peter, that's not quite accurate. Because it's not like those who run themselves in a certain way win more or are like definitely better to support. Otherwise, you could just, go and support City or Chelsea and say, well, they've got lots of money, so that's good, isn't it? It also means that you find no other way but money to do well, which Forest, let's say, are proving you wrong. And then Bournemouth this season. And then the old Brighton model. Brighton lifted themselves up from nothingness to high Premier League standing based on quality scouting, not through raising ticket prices. Well, Bournemouth had a chance. I mean, Palace had a chance, but they're not that good. Everything around in the Premier League is 0-0 currently.
Everything's been a really it's sort of bouncing around, isn't it, in this game?
It's long
There's
ago.
no
Even in the
real-
championship, there are 7 games taking place, and among those 7 games, there are 3 goals between them. So the Premiership and Championship, there are 10 games taking place. 3 of them are 1-0, 7 of them are 0-0. The national sport there. I have my delicious tea in my European tour.
Ding dong.
Win this, I'll be singing about European tours.
Nothing's really stuck to Paqueta as well. He seems to be chasing shadows at the moment.
Yeah, I think both teams are
Spanish
just
just
playing
passes.
for no injuries.
Yeah, it's Palace looking, they're looking at the more dangerous. 4 shots, 2 on target. I mean, not great strikes, any of them, but just lose passes from West Ham at the moment. It's all a bit untidy, and that's the worry. But possession's up, it's half and half now.
Be the sting you want to see in the game. Very motivational. Brian Casey, motivational speaker there. G. Walsh wonders if Peter Jordan related to Simon Jordan. Would or DC says he's a primitive AI. That's quite nice. Potter picked a pot of pickled potters.
Said that well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if we were run like a business, then we're run like a terribly run business. You'd have to say. Even Peter Jordan, Simon Jordan's brother, the AI machine, Tottenham fan, Karen Brady's best mate, would have to agree that if it was, but we have to be run like a business. Well, we run like a business where there's a lot of friction between the people at the top. There's not much communication or explanation happening to the customers, aka fans. And there's not much happening in terms of respecting loyalty, and so on and so on. And also I got one in the also the appointment of Lopetegui was not good business. Carry on.
No, I can't seem to get chats in. Click on the chats at the moment. But Bagold says, I still think this game's a 0-0. And Mark Watson says, would we take a draw from this one? I know you said it's going to be, you're thinking a draw anyway. I think this season I probably would take a point from this one. But I think next season, I mean, he's got to have time with the squad. He's got to bring in his own players. I'd expect that. I wouldn't want to be where we are now. Obviously, next season we've got to push forward.
Our ambitions have to be to win almost every game at home. But obviously, where we are now, I mean, the username. I mean, what's going on there? Can't find the match. How are we playing? Basically, fine. Both teams are playing okay, and they're trying to play error-free, injury-free, not get counter-attacked against football. That's the aim of both teams for the last 30 minutes. We've had okay moments, but we very much look like we're playing with a team full of defenders and midfielders.
Yeah, cagey is the word I would sum this up.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Casey's gone on to an absolute just little fictional novella here about Graham and Jared. You might, if you read that, you might go delirious. So I don't recommend. I don't recommend anyone make sense of that. Yeah, I mean the Rodriguez thing. He has to be doing a lot of like unsung, unknown work because I don't know what he's doing.
I know they say, defensive midfielders' work should go unseen, but bloody hell, he does. I mean, if that's the case, he does a bloody good job of it because I don't really see him ever do anything.
No, yellow card for Suchik there. Mark Watson is speaking Spanglish at that point in respect to Carlos Soler. I would like to Soler introduced.
Yeah.
Walshy's talking about ripping hands off for the aforementioned point. He just wants to get on with his weekends, knowing West Ham didn't lose.
Yeah, there's that. I think Soler must. I think I read somewhere that he had taken a slight knock, so maybe that's just.
Yeah, there we go. Here we go. My suspicions confirmed by Peter Jordan. Pensions have been incredibly fortunate over the last 2 decades with the triple lock. I feel that whatever should be means to no, Peter. Come on, you've lost your credibility.
Yeah,
you've lost your. Do you think CEOs aren't paid enough, Peter? Do you think all the rails and the electric companies should always remain private, Peter, because business comes first in the eyes of Peter Jordan. Would you abolish all benefit payments, Peter Jordan? Are you sick of Johnny Foreigner coming here and taking the jobs that we don't want to do, Peter?
I can't get this in the chat, but Ogiam Atta says the supply for Kudus is bad. Is the supply from Kudus just as bad, though?
Yeah, it's when we're rushing. I mean, just what happened there. When Kudus comes back to get it, he's the only one coming back to get it. So anyone in the Crystal Palace defensive midfield or defence just thinks to themselves, oh, whoopee, something's happening. Let's all three of us try and get the ball from Kudus, which they usually do because there's usually two or three of them. So we're just rushing things up to Kudus a bit as our form of attack, and then expecting him to just always definitely be able to just hold someone off pass and then go. There's just too many people on him at the moment.
I'm going back a minute here, but just in terms of Soucek's yellow card, I mean, that was a bad dive, wasn't it? It was a bit obvious.
Yeah, Obsidian Curse is now not a fan of potential AI Conservative Party bot. Bit of a scrappy game. 0-0 in every Premier League fixture.
I mean, they played the ball into Kudus there. He didn't get it, and his head just went down. He just looked at the floor, which I'm not liking that body language. He's up top. He's doing the Antonio role, isn't he? Basically, that thankless task.
Yeah. Palace having a bit of pressing, a bit of attacking. Potato salad. We're bereft of any ideas for the goal. Yeah, it's because we sit that deep. We basically play, let's call it 5-4-1. It's just, I think the tactics are wait until half time and then change it and then hopefully see, let's say, Scholes, Soler.
Yeah, not having a shot on target at home in the first half is not good.
Yeah, Dave says it looks a bit like a weird training exercise. It looks like a training exercise where both teams have been told like possession wins. Or
yeah, there's no intensity, is there, from either side?
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, I'm gonna take a look at the bench as if in the last minute we will have like.
I mean, I love George said this is much better than being 2-0 down. Well, yeah, yeah, it is. That's true. Which you probably would have been under Loppy.
I mean, I really liked what Irving did when he came on. I think Irving misplaced one pass, and they did slightly counter from it, but not much. Apart from that, Irving he's got first touch ability. He's got first touch, he's got accuracy. So I think changes at half time. Ings came on, and obviously we all do joke about him quite a lot, which is fair enough, but then at least pressed for the third. So yeah. I guess in order, I'd like to see Guilherme, although that situation is mystifying. I'd like to see Irving and Soler. So I guess I'd go Soler, Irving, Ings, discounting Guilherme, because I don't know what's happening with him at all. But at least those three, they would actually do something. Take off Rodriguez, let's say for Soler, Cresswell for either Scholes or Irving, and then put Emerson left back again and change this formation.
I haven't really seen Emerson on the ball, actually.
Yeah. See, Peter Jordan. Peter, we could have just not build HS1 or HS whatever. We could have just not spent billions upon billions upon billions getting people to London 11 minutes faster. There was already a train to London. We could have just not done that. So there we go. Brian Bing, the pensions are taking all our jobs, deport them. There we go. That's two birds with one stone thinking from Brian Casey there. Solves two problems. And also, deport them to Rwanda, then they don't have the heating problem anymore. So that's Peter Jordan's method for getting rid of these pesky pensioners who've been lauding it on the taxpayers' expense at this point in time.
KJ Shadow says, I think Guilherme needs to get in this game.
Yep.
as you say, he's just out of favour, isn't it? He was out of favour. He can't be out of favour with two managers, surely.
I have to think there's something else going on in that situation, because when he came on, he looked fine. He didn't make mistakes. He didn't look slow. He didn't look worried. It was just fine.
Was that Eze doing a Rabona flick cross?
Yeah, we need this 5-6 minutes till half time.
Can't come quick enough. I think just in terms of making a change, needs to be a bit of a spark in this one.
Yeah, the bench is threadbare. Obviously, Bowen out, Somerville out, Antonio out. I'd hope that Bowen Somerville would start, and I'd hope Antonio would be on the bench. So, if you had on the bench, who would that put on the bench? I can't be bothered to work out now. This game's too boring. It's destroyed my ability for any level of cogent thought process, just watching the ball move slowly, generally around the football pitch as if there were no goals. But yeah, crying out for some halftime changes, which is fine to make halftime changes at 0-0.
What if Fabianski punched that one as well? Like, I thought we could have caught that. We had a real pressure.
I don't know. I think he was bored again. Yeah, James, the game is boring. She's Shamrock Downs. If you quadruple the price of electricity and gas,
kill them all off,
and then people might actually learn how to start fires with flint.
Who did they zoom into in the crowd? There was someone in the crowd with a cap and a scarf around his.
They had a moment where they were zooming in on Bowen.
Yeah, before that,
that's the same person.
Because we haven't got the sound on, we couldn't hear who that was.
Yeah, we do need some spark in the game, but I think a good substitution will do that. I think if we can get to half time, a few minutes to go, 0-0, and we say, okay, we've got 45 minutes ahead of us. Andy Irving, can you play football? Carlos Soler, surely you scored last game and then you start on the bench. You've got to be desperate to get on the pitch. See, there you go. I think we're coming up with something now. Stephen Jones wants to be deported to Australia. We should line up pensioners who are up for this. Why not? Get them on the boats. When the boats come over, not stop the boats, return the boats with pensioners in them over to France. Everyone wins.
Thank you, folks, for those that said it was Thomas Tuchel. Couldn't tell. It's just like his face is all covered up, so we couldn't hear. See if Danny Ings fancies a return, no doubt.
Oh, my God, all Premier League games 0-0. Still only, I think there's maybe a fourth goal. No, still 3 goals in the Championship only. What a day. What a day for football.
Did you read that comment from Inex?
Yeah, but Inex is getting moody recently. I thought he was fine, but I don't know. So someone dumped him or something. He's taking it out on us. That was Trump. Put them back in the boots. That's my Trump impression. That's the best I can do. I can probably improve it, but it's not worth it. See, Tom Ponton, am I listening to Newsnight? I'm trying to talk about the football. Some people get annoyed when we don't talk about the football, which I find quite funny.
Well, especially this football.
A lot of people said Tuchel. They were answering your question. I thought it was something else that I'd missed, but yeah, he must be. I don't know what player he's watching. Eze? Who else?
Creswell, Danny Ings.
Yeah, probably. He's seen Ings pressing. He has seen the leathery face of Danny Ings. I think that's what we need.
It's just it's Palace playing it around, isn't it?
Frank
They're playing it around, but not really doing anything.
Who supports West Ham? No, apparently Dean's Northern.
Geordie.
Yeah, we've got a couple of Geordies usually in the chat. I mean, obviously Gio is quite Northern. Oh, Paul from Manchester. It's the EBF. Keep it about West Ham. Nothing. There's not much to talk about game-wise.
Better than politics, though.
The Inex says, to be fair, that is a big monk. I'm compensating, Inex.
Lee thinks that Wan-Bissaka is a liability. Is he starting to split fans? Because he is out of position a lot. I know he's good. He's good with the ball going forward, but he does go wandering. So you need someone to cover him. But he's got to be one of our best defenders, isn't he? If not the best.
Yeah, Shamrock Dan brings up a good point. We are actually stopping boats. They're stopping at Dover. So it worked. We are stopping the boats just shy of the White Cliffs. Not quite. What has this got to do with anything? Murphy close to making televised 147 is my attention. What does that mean? I missed that.
Darts. He's watching the darts instead.
Ah, that's why. That's why I didn't get it.
Not a darts fan?
Nope. Too much joyous revelry and fun for me.
I'd love to. I haven't been.
Football
Love to
boring.
go. Nightmare to get tickets, apparently. But be a right crack. If you was to go to the darts, Nick, what would you dress up as? You have to dress up with something.
What a question. I had to dress up.
Or in the comments, if you had to dress Nick up in something, what would you dress him up as?
You had to dress me in. If you had to dress me in anything, and you were allowed 5 minutes in a room with me.
Yeah.
I only went to one fancy dress party about 25 years ago, and I dressed as someone who doesn't go to fancy dress parties. That was my iconic wit at the time. Yeah, I think. Could I not go? Is that an option?
You can go to the snooker instead, because that's what they were talking about. 147. Of course, it was. But what would you dress Nick up at the snooker?
Yeah, Bertie Lutton. Sounds a bit like a fake name. Lurty Button says, need to push on, easier to get a win here the next two Chelsea Villa away. To a degree, that's true, but football always works like that, in that you always think it's going to happen and then it happens in the other way. Also, because Villa are in Europe. I don't know if there's Europe the game after that, as it's half time.
They were beat, they were better when we played them, but obviously the corner goal was a bit cheating.
Yes. So at this point, I don't know, when it comes to half time, we usually get a lot of people in the chat. So obvious question being substitutions. Surely there's substitutions. I don't think it's been a bad game. I don't think we've been set up wrong, but I think now's the time where changes have to be made. So in the chat, what changes would you make? Please let us know. What about you, Norfie? Would you agree with the Soler Skulls double change?
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked, if they're both fit, I'd have had them to start, to be honest. I think, I'd rather go attacking early doors to try and get a goal than do what we've done and go 0-0. I mean, again, you can't be unhappy with that half. I think we were poor, but we're not behind, so we'll take that, and hopefully things can only go better. I'm just going to look at who the full list of subs. I think I have them all. But...
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, Diva says might be an unpopular opinion. Happy with the half. It was basically fine. As football goes, it was boring, but it's fair enough for what we've been seeing to actually have a clean sheet 45 minutes. Philip Wallace, what's your thoughts on Rashford? Can't play football. Terrible football. They're only two tired teams.
They look tired. Yeah. They were asleep anyway. Always, as always, last on match of the day. That's just what we do.
Yeah, it's two teams that would be quite fine with a point at this point in their lives. Don't think Skulls changed the game, to be fair.
Well, fair enough. I actually thought he got well when he was playing. He did get well, and he's good at corners as well. So I don't know. I'd want to see more of him. I want to see more of Skulls. We're not learning anything new from having Creswell and Emerson there. So I'd say get him on. But yeah, we'd definitely like to have a change in midfield, be that Soler or Guilherme, just to bring a bit of life and get Rodriguez off, because just doesn't see it. We don't need him and Alvarez on the pitch. We don't need either of them on the pitch. But having them both on the pitch at the same time, I just don't see why. Why do that?
Against Palace at home, unless unless
Not
it
playing
is
City.
deliberate and it is to switch things. George Cantor, whose profile photo looks as if he's a famous 19th century Swiss physicist who's vying with Thomas Edison and whatever Tesla for the invention of electricity, comes up with something of a self-conflicting statement. Football is always boring sometimes, been intermittently bored for years. It's because you didn't get that pattern on electricity, George, and you've never let it lie. Hasib is also happy with 0-0. Marky Boy, a rancid game of football. Chris goes, Rodders off, Souček in his position, and bring, well, yeah, Guilherme on for pace would be nice if that can happen.
Yeah, John says, what do you expect with 9 defensive players starting? I mean, we don't expect anything else. I think 0-0 is probably what we all expect is a hold on, but I think this is the time now. We hope to see a bit of an injection of pace and attacking, and let's just go for it. This is Palace. We're not looking great. We're at home. We've got to take the game to them. We can't just be sitting back and hoping to counter, because that's not going to happen. So let's take the game to them.
Yeah, that would be nice. Stephen Jones would dress me up as a nun and then top him 1 nun dead and 80. It's pretty good pun work.
I like that.
Also, nun, obviously the profession of Baldrick's father. George brings up value and moments. I reckon George Cantor and Peter Jordan would get on. I reckon they'd have a nice steak lunch together. Muiz answered, and we have 2 pivots that aren't good in the ball. Yeah, the whole pivotty thing. But with Jake Collins scored, not even slightly. Palace had a couple of half chances that they definitely could have done better with. Logan, real name Bowser, Cresswell for Soler. That does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
John goes with respect the pint. Freudian slip, talking of Swiss philosophers. I mean, he was actually German, Freud. But anyway, respect the pint. Someone's thirsty. I don't know what 3888. Not sure what that refers to.
Nope. Got me on that.
Quite confusing. Yeah, Ryan says felt like pre-season intensity.
Yeah.
Flags brings up something just a little irrelevant name drop there. Shook hands with Eric Clapton. Right. Yeah, all the 3 p.m. kickoffs 0-0 at half time.
Might give match of the day a miss.
Masapan raises the same point as you, back 5 sentences with players. I think it's fine. I think if we get a result, if we just don't lose this game, I think that's what Potter wants, to keep going and going. Even if it's Villa, let's just say Villa draw, Chelsea draw, I don't know, but that would still be like a fine start, not to just be absolutely pummeled. Mighty Mog, we bored them and they fall asleep. When we pounced, James Gunn says it's a turgid game of football.
I heard that word for a while.
Yeah, I mean, turgid would express also some form of excitement. Surely this is a flaccid game of football. Eddie Duffy just says, Ings, please. Freud was Austrian. Thanks for that, Gary. Always like to be corrected on the inventor of the id, ego, superego concept there.
Johnny Mac says you have to bring Alvarez off. He'll be red carded. I think he hasn't been close enough to any players in this game to be red carded, so that'll be tough.
Bogold is flaccid. Not sure if that means he's spent. Oh, we got another one. Quite learned, aren't we? Thrilled in the psychoanalytical form. Well done, G1. Freud was Austrian. How have you skipped all my A-start comments? Have we?
Right, I'm going to go back and see if there's any that are A-star now. Just to, obviously, we've failed you, Damien. So hold on 1 second, mate.
Let's all focus on Damien. Let's make this whole YouTube channel about Damien for the next 10 minutes. We need a striker back. We need Bowen back. We need someone back. We need Tadipo back. I thought that was going to be a song.
Yeah,
I thought that was like a tub thumping.
Like a drink. I need it.
We need the striker before he was injured. Striker's football ain't the one, by the way. People who criticise. Let's still on Damien's comments. People who criticise our defenders this season are silly.
Okay, well, the fact that you just said we have great defenders, you've lost all credibility, Damien, unfortunately, because you think Mavropanos is a great defender.
Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't really think, although obviously people say, like, what do you expect? And we're playing defensively. I don't think anyone really in the chat has said, that it's bad, even saying it's boring, I've fallen asleep. I think we all are okay with this situation at the moment of being 0-0 at half time. Obviously, as long as something occurs in the second half.
John says, how bad is it when you're begging for Ings to come on? I mean, yeah, it speaks volumes, to be fair.
Yeah. Healing. Yeah, that's John A. How bad it must be for begged Ings to come on. Healing wins. Freud, we're very delighted with today's game, especially podcast shape resembles man's organ for procreation. Such a well-educated, studious bunch in the chat.
But yeah, Kudus, I know we were talking about it. We spoke about this pretty much the whole first half of the season. You were very keen to see Kudus in a striker role. And he doesn't look anything like a striker to me.
I mean, I still am. I didn't think it would happen in a 4-5-1 or a 5-4-1. To be honest with you, I was, if he was supported by wingers, if it was Byrne on the right, Somerville on the left, and then Kudus in the middle, and he had a particular, list of things to do. At the moment, it's our only way we're going to try and attack in that first half is to, know that well he can turn, so get it up to him. If they know we're going to do that, it's pretty easy to defend. It's only difficult to defend if it happens, obviously, on the transition, which the folks over at Analytics United love to say whenever possible. And Hammerhead, Paqueta will score. He looks hungry and passionate. Ji Wong, is this like, where are you from? Malaysia, Hong Kong? What's that name going? Are you Hammershot paying to endure these experiences? Look for a new job. I mean, we need a raise. Put it that way.
I know.
It's tough. I guess at half time, we can also promote. Patreon is the only thing to promote because there's no sponsors today. If anyone is from a business and feels like sponsoring this channel, then do. But other than that, patreon.com/Hammers Chat, or get the Patreon app and look for Hammers Chat. And especially if you go as a mild addict, you'll get 7 days free. And in the transfer window, not only will you'll get all the usual content of Patreon, podcasts by fans. Gio and Gonzo do a lot of match previews, post-match analysis, and just random off-topic, entertaining nonsense chats. There's also, it's a good way to just get quick update messages that come through to your patron that get sent to your email, just about what's happening. If a player's having a medical somewhere, or if a rumor has been confirmed or denied, then you'll most likely hear it before anyone else on Patreon. And like I say, 7 days free. So just get the Patreon app and see what you think for the next 7 days after this game. It would be nice.
Some people are saying, quite rightly, I can't see him clear. Oh, there you go. Can't judge Kudus in this game as a striker. He's got nothing around him. And make West Ham great again. Get more politics in here. Kudus hasn't had any service. No, that's true. That is fair.
You have to read out his comments in a Trump voice.
I'm not doing it. But can't we just have a striker? Can't we just buy a good striker for once? No, you don't want my impressions, mate.
It's just fun. It's quite difficult to. I can't do a Trump impression, but it's just funny going.
You're the impression man on this. You're the Mike Yarwood of the channel.
Yeah, I'm good at terrible impressions. It's a special skill to be able to have. Feral Ghoul, vibes are still high for me. I think that's probably a Charlie homage. This result's not going to hit me hard at all. 187 Codeine. Interesting name. Kudus has to drop midfield because he ain't receiving good ball. Yeah, that is exactly true. It's just so much work to do, which would be nice. Soler obviously isn't like the attacking answer, but he's definitely going to provide so much more than Rodriguez.
Yeah, we've got to get Rodriguez off. I don't think he should ever play for us again. I mean, if you're talking about squad players, Rodriguez is the epitome of a squad player for me. I just, like, if we're winning, if we 2-0 up, bring him on, just sit him there. But, to start him in a game, I don't see what he brings. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I think I am.
I mean, Mark says we have any subs worth bringing on. Soler is basically the one.
Yeah.
Clutching at straws. Maybe Scars will be more energetic once Emerson tires. Maybe Danny Ings will run again like he did the last game. Maybe Andy Irving, if he's given more time, can actually get into the game and produce something because he's only been given just like minimal time. G. Rons is from the exotic region known as Romford. I was inquiring as to your ancestral lineage, G1. I like to know where people's ancestors are from. It pleases me, like Shamrock Dance.
That's where I moved from, Romford. I'll go on.
Gary Day, did you guys see in the chat that Charlie Orr was on Alex United? It was good to see him. Yeah, that's his new thing. That's his thing. He's not on it enough. If I had to just kind of shit stir for no reason, I'd say he's not on it enough. I'd like to see more of him. Usually, I only really see Charlie being talked at by the prince of Analytics United, Jack something or other, Elderton maybe. So I'd like to see more of Charlie. I'd like to hear more from him rather than just watch him nodding at someone else talking. Mark wants Indian food. Just to go completely off topic, Mark has let us know he wants Indian food, and I don't blame him at all.
You don't eat Indian food, do you?
Gets to sorry?
You don't eat Indian food, do you?
I cook my own Indian food, and it's
you like kormas though, don't you? You just have like the baby curries.
Well, I think that advocating for spicy food to translate to masculinity, I think that comes under toxic masculinity. I don't think burning one's mouth off with no flavor provides one with any form of turgid member. I think I can have a korma and look myself in the mirror each and every night.
I think one day at half time we should get on Just Eat and I'll order you a curry, you order me a curry. We'll have to eat it live on air. I'll stitch you up so bad. You've got to eat it. That would be that. See, if we had that now after that first half, we'd have something entertaining. Just see you sweating and crying. I think that'd be
and people would have to watch. They've got to see our faces as it is. If they had to see our faces whilst eating, which I hate looking at other people eat, does my head in. So I think we only might go to
Soler on.
There we go.
Bosh.
Graham Potter knows what he's doing. The plan's working. Masterclass. Potter Bull. It's what I do. Win, he says, probably, but not. He won't say that. It's not arrogant. Dean Northey, important halftime food chat. Still eating mince pies from Christmas. Come on, Dean. Still eating mince pies. How many mince pies did you buy?
Jeez, man, mine were demolished quick. I must admit, actually, and about a week ago, I actually ate the Christmas pudding because we didn't bother doing that on Christmas Day. So I see it sat there, the tin of custard next to it, and I was like, yeah, I fancy that. So, got to get it in. Anyone else on?
Just Make West Ham great again says, questions need to be asked. I can't really do the Trump for more than 5 words. About the Guilherme signing, if you can't get any minutes now, very good question. If you can't get any minutes, nice, I've lost it. Mark, the thing with Mark and curry is happening. I'll have a chicken with Lupita rice. Plain naan. Even I don't get a plain naan.
More chicken file, yeah. I mean, I do usually have a vindaloo. I've not tried a file. I always think that might be pushing it a little bit. But I think I'll have to try it one day.
Yeah. Gary agrees with me, but I don't know about why. I think it was that I do crap impressions. That's the only thing I can think that I've made. Or was it with the korma thing? Well, I think it was because then he said the curry thing, so maybe it was the spicy food. Yes. One can have magnificently attractive biceps and eat chicken korma. This is my strong opinion.
Gary J says he can't stand hearing people eat. Yeah, or people eat with their mouth open.
Oh God, that is, yeah, it's not even a pet hate. If I'm in the same vicinity as someone in public eating with their mouth, I'll say something to them, and I'm very shy and retiring individual, but oh God, just unforgivable. Keanu says Lunar New Year soon. Are you going to be lighting a Chinese lantern for Lopetegui? Slightly strange. It's the year of the snake. I know that much. See, there we go, G1. That's what I was going about Hong Kong. Lovely place. I'm a huge fan of Hong Kong. I like it. And the food is spectacular.
Lee says Naga. Actually, a question for G Wong, because if you live in Romford, you may know this. There used to be by the station a Naga takeout shop. It was called, I think, Naga. And they did everything, but they actually did it. When I lived in Romford, I went out for a beer. A friend of mine never heard what Naga, doesn't know what Naga means. And I said, they do amazing kebabs. And I made him order one. And then when he went home, and he called me about half an hour later saying, "You bastard." So,
Crystal Palace 1-0.
Oh,
Mateta through the middle.
great.
For the love of God. It's like a time warp. What happened? 2 minutes in. 2 minutes. It took them to counter.
And my prediction is that Palace are going to score very early in the second half.
Oh God! It was also Eze to Mateta through the middle. No one's getting near Mateta. He had the ball in possession for enough time. We pressed. Eze was free. Mateta has the ball for 1, 2, 3 seconds. None of our defenders think it's necessary. Look at Kilman there. What's he doing? Back away, back away, back away.
He's useless.
£40 million. I mean, just, that replay. Like,
I think it's the worst sign
you
of
watch
the
the
Kilman.
first replay once at normal speed and you think it's terrible. You watch the second replay at a different angle behind Mateta looking at Kilman, and it gets worse because Mateta gets the ball played to him. Now, before Mateta gets the ball, you know the ball's going to him because it's been played to him. From then on, you are Max Kilman, a £40 million professional Premier League football player, and your solution is to go back for 3 seconds, giving him 1.5 yards space continually without a thought in your idiotic head that maybe getting slightly closer to this player with the football would be beneficial in this situation. And then he just shoots and scores. Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable defending.
Yeah. I mean, he's shot from so far out as well. Has Fabianski got to be at fault for that? Need to see another angle.
Partially, you have to. It wasn't the greatest shot in the world. It wasn't smashed into the lower corner or top corner. It's just that level of. It's just the level of defending. We've got 3 centre backs, and not one of them has it in their head to get close to the opposing striker.
I mean, Mateta's one of those strikers I think would have been good for West Ham because he reminds me of Antonio. He's big, a lot of energy, not as prolific, but just a focal point.
Yeah, and all it was just lumped up to Eze, who is in space. Alvarez had got too excited and moved far, far away, 10, 15 yards away from Eze. So Alvarez was out of place. No one in our back three realized what was happening. Mavropanos was halfway between Mateta and Eze. So Mavropanos has just not realized that anything is about to take place. But I just don't know how Kilman can be that bad in that situation. It's literally like you're watching 13s, 14-year-olds, like bad, just random 13 or 14-year-olds play football. And they just back away. And then the goal goes in and the coach just kindly says to them, in that situation, don't back away because then they can get a shot off. I'd quite like to see that replay again just so I can truly build further rage for Max Kilman as a footballer.
I mean, the pair of them are terrible, aren't they? So
absolutely just abysmal beyond belief. Just clueless, just asleep, just very sleepy individuals.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, who's gonna change this up for us then, Nick? Because we've been toothless, so we haven't had a shot on target yet, have we?
No, I mean we're having We're having the very, very slightest spell of possession. So we're going to just have to see some form of urgency. Again, these are the moments when it depends. If Paqueta's out on the right wing, Soler's more central. I think Paqueta's out on the right wing. Can't quite tell, but yeah, I mean, ball given away anyway.
Can't really remember a really strong passage of play where we've broke into the box. It hasn't really been.
Yeah, I think we literally had one good one in the first half. But now the only hope is that if Palace have, their goal, they sit back for some small amount of time, and we were able to actually pass to each other for a period of time.
Yeah, there's just the lack of energy, isn't there? From
Jeff says, I find it hard to defend Kilman, and so does he. Jack says Kilman isn't a bad player. Chill out. Just strongly disagree, Jack, as evidenced by, let's say, the goal against Leicester away, the goal against City away, just as two examples that immediately pop into head. He never gets tight. He never reads where the ball is going. It's two things. He doesn't read where the ball is going, and he doesn't know where the other striker is. Chris Wood goal against Forest. So it's not good enough, like even nearly. As a Premier League footballer, you can't be that bad at those basic things. He has no confidence in clearing the ball when it comes in. And I did say these things before the game, that these things are highly concerning.
Yeah, G. Walsh said that Kilman looks every penny of 40 million at the beginning of the season. What's happened to him? I didn't really see that. Maybe like one or two games. Like he had a decent debut. But he hasn't really done much, has he? I don't think he's done nearly enough. I think someone said he's more of a £4 million player.
Yeah. See there, Dean agrees. Just going backwards.
The first.
G Wong reckons Kilman is a corner guy, the ultimate insult.
First one to say it, Nick.
Yeah. Not bad. TWB McMystery Wolves fans said this when we signed them. Yeah, that is also very true. Wolves fans were not like that. There wasn't any Wolves fans, or Wolf fan, I almost said that, coming and saying, oh no, sorry to lose him. I don't think any one of them said that.
Yeah, not for that money. Orford coming on. That'll be good. That's Soucek off. Soucek injured, wasn't he? Is he injured? No.
Is that Skulls as well?
Why not?
Triple substitution.
Interesting.
Jason Murphy, no attack, no defense, no progression in midfield. Dire. Jason Murphy's profile photo looks like no win, no fee lawyer. Wolves needed money to step up West Ham, says Richard B.
Yeah. Oh, if anyone needs money, we just give it away.
Someone reacts rather than anticipates. Even that is being very, very, very kind, Gaz, because that was, I don't even know what that was, that form of defending. Like, does he not watch himself back? Do people not kindly say, Max, thanks for coming to training, it's good effort and everything, but let's have a look at this video of what you did when Mateta had the ball.
So at least it's a bit more attacking, a bit more.
Yeah, Bogle hasn't forgotten Damien's great defender. Clanger of a claim. I mean, we've got time. Like, bright side of things, we've got time. We've got younger players on the pitch now, so a bit of energy maybe, a bit of pride, a bit of movement, a bit of quicker in the transitionness. George Cantor. George Cantor. I want to give George Cantor a voice. I'm not sure quite. George Cantor. There's no E on the end of George as well. The guy has bollocks. I don't know. Maybe give him a Jason Statham voice. Richard B. Kilman did well not to fall over. Yeah.
I think this is. I mean,
that's Tondal. I didn't know who Tondal was talking to, but referencing the headbutting a striker's leg. He means Maverick.
Yeah, that was amazing. That's his highlight of the season. That one.
Yeah, Paqueta off the pitch is a bit slightly strange one though.
Let's see what the young players can do. I mean,
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine if Palace sit back now. There's no problem with that.
I'm going to keep an eye on the possession where we are at the moment.
I mean, Soler's making himself more available for passes than we had in the midfield. Before he was there, there was just no availability. He's taking up decent positions. We need to take this throw in quickly. Small things like that keep some urgency going. Yeah, I mean, Palace are sitting back a bit now, which hopefully plays into our hands. 388. How do we get to Patreon? You can go patreon.com/Hammers Chat, or just get the Patreon app in your app store and then search Hammers Chat. Something will come up and you can get your 7 days for free, which if you do now, you'll be able to do many things like the live show and whatever else. And we'll be happy about transfers next week.
Yeah, Percy said big move to bring those 3 players on, but it has picked up the crowd. Obviously, we can't hear it. So, yeah, is there any grumblings, any murmurings, or is it just, is it all still positive? It's weird when you can't hear it.
Yeah, Dean preemptively answers a question. Crowd trying to lift things. I mean, it's up to the players at this point. We don't have anyone else. Palace attacking the box. But we actually do get to it first. In possession, yeah, we've still been like attackingly woeful. Got to try and put something together. At least something, at least a corner to get the crowd going.
AGG Shadow Main says, bring Noble back from retirement. Now, we're looking for pace in midfield. So, even in his heyday, he never had that. He was a fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid foul.
George says, by mile high, do you mean you're on a plane? I normally use the Wi-Fi to drunk text. Quite a confession. I feel there's a story behind there. You lost your job because of a inappropriate message. KG says Lopetegui shattered Kilman's confidence. I don't think he came to us with a reputation of, anything. Decent chance from Palace, but couldn't make much more of it. Fabianski has to save. Oh, we've got possession. Players just got to up their game. There's got to be urgency and quality. That's their job, to provide both of those two things.
Obviously, Palace leapfrog us if the result stays like this.
Skulls takes a left wing position there, wins possession to get the ball in. So at least if he's further up the pitch, might help with the whole attacking thing. Brentford Liverpool still 0-0. Fulham beating Leicester 1-0. As West Ham do kind of attack a bit. We're just so far away from creating an actual chance, though, still.
Yeah, it's just nothing's sticking. Nothing is sticking.
Yeah, the whole we need a striker thing. We need a central defender, really.
We need a couple.
Yeah, Mark says, how many shots have we had on target?
We have had,
I would guess
none.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had 3 shots in total. None on target.
Yeah, and we were about to swing the ball in, but as what I'm reading about, but I think it came to nothing anyway. We still got that time to build, and we've seen that a lot in the early part of this season as well, where we always went down the first goal, usually in the first few minutes. But then we just attack with panic. Nothing comes of it. We've still got time, and in theory, the players on the pitch to actually make something happen. Oh my God. Kilman is the equivalent of Harry Maguire, basically. I think Harry Maguire is actually slightly better, which is saying something.
He is better.
I still don't want Harry Maguire at West Ham. That would just be absolutely terrible.
I'd swap him.
Yeah, Jonathan always screams. It's boring. It is. Thank God I didn't go to this game. Kilman only understands instructions in pidgin English now.
Has he ever played for England? Has he got a cap?
I would be highly surprised. Not that I'm aware of, put it that way. He might have had one, under 16 level.
I'm going to have a look.
Oh, God.
He can play for Ukraine. He's half English, half Ukrainian, isn't he? If he's played any, he can't even get a game for Ukraine, I don't think.
I mean, Wan-Bissaka and Kilman tried to move it up the right wing, but still just not quite there.
He's had 25 caps for England futsal. Futsal. I mean, that's like really skillful, isn't it, game?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a game which you don't need to defend, so...
There you go.
Oh, we're still getting possession. Oh, God. Just frustrating again, because just being 1-0 down, we don't have the players to attack patiently. And just going 1-0 down to a goal of that standard is just nonsense. I mean, how much is he on, Kilman? 70 grand? I have no idea. He just does it time and time and time again. It was like basically carbon copy of the Leicester away goal, but central instead of on the side. Same thing. He just doesn't get it. Doesn't get defending.
100 grand a week.
Nice.
Mental. Jesus.
Well, West Ham are 20-1 to actually win this game, which isn't beyond the realms of possibility. 7-2 to draw.
The good news that Max Kilman only signed a 7-year contract. So.
Excellent.
So he'll be easy to shift on 100 grand a week.
Yeah, run like a business. Peter Jordan's given up. He's not even trolling us. We're too easy to troll. He's gone for a harder target. Foul from the referee.
Dylan says, it seems we are allergic to possession. And Andy says, and I absolutely agree with this, we've got defensive midfielders in, or had defensive midfielders. We're not physical enough. We don't bully anybody. We're very weak. We're a weak team. We stand off too much.
DC reckons we're going to win. Well, I mean, we're currently 16-1. It's gone down, so up to you.
I'm sure DC's put his mortgage on it. That confident.
If we made 4 subs, I lost count. 4 or 5? Probably 4.
Or Soler at the beginning and then
okay.
at the 3, wouldn't it?
So Guilherme could come on to score a hat-trick.
Kudus needs some support. Like, there's no one around him, is there? It's just
no. It's basically just give it to Kudus and see what he can do. No one's getting close. Yes, very true. Like we were playing good for a football table league. Shamrock Dan blames the shape of the ball. Just the idea that we could score 1 goal against Crystal Palace in the next 30 minutes. Could it happen? Is that beyond the realms of dreamability?
I don't know whether I'd rather watch this or watch my mum and dad go at it. it's painful, isn't it?
A little bit over the top, but I mean, speaking of, Freud earlier in the chat, and then you come up with that.
Yeah. Man, come on, do something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. If we've got one sub left, we need to make it.
Oh, honestly, Kudus is winding me up because he just can't.
Yeah.
Anything that goes into him just bounces off him.
Just an attacking player. KG Shadow. What's the name KG Shadow main about?
Sorry, let me go back to that one.
Yeah, secret weaponings. Jeff says, my cat who speaks by blinking says we will score against us. We will score soon. Edward Riddle would actually watch.
I'll give the OnlyFans handle later.
Yeah, says the man wearing a dad balls beanie. It's all starting to come out now. You mentioned Freud one time.
Richard's like, Christ, Northey, no.
Oh, West Ham going to get shot away? No. Come on. Oh, God. Make another sub. Just get on an attacking player and just tell the attack. Get on Irving and say, stand close to Kudus and try and just work up something together. Give some, I feel like Ings coming on. Who's up top? Is that Ings? I've lost count. I don't
know the formation. Yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it?
I'm going to re-review things because I've basically lost the plot at this point.
Frank says, now we just have to settle for a draw. Yeah, I think at this point,
so
a draw would be a great result.
Guilherme. So in theory, Irving or Guilherme could come on the pitch and Alvarez could go. Alvarez or Souček. Souček might pop up with a goal. Alvarez won't. So Alvarez for Guilherme. Maybe Guilherme and Kudus can put something together. There's still 20 minutes left. We need to change.
Peter says, we can't win this game with 0 shots on target. To which Walsh says, we can. Own goals.
Yeah, so, we're around the box.
Pray for that.
I don't know, Alvarez 30-yard shot. Typical from a defensive player.
Oh, he keeps whacking him over the bar and all. Who's been our best player so far? In fact, you have to think about that. It speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Kudus is trying, but he's just being asked to just do everything with no one going to him. Paqueta actually was okay when he was on the pitch. That's why I thought taking him off was slightly bizarre as an attacking player, unless there's something behind that. Yeah, I mean, no one. I mean, Souček's tried. But yeah, no one. There's not one person that you'd actually say has actually provided anything. Kudus has made some effort. Now, like in the last 5 minutes, all the players are actually making an effort, but just a bit clueless, really. I mean, just playing weird balls that aren't really on.
Yeah.
It's not like the last 5 minutes. It's still 25 minutes to go.
70 minutes at home, or 75 minutes at home, 3 shots, none on target.
Yeah, we can just work. We can just work it towards the final third. Palace 1-0 up. We'll sit back. Stop rushing everything. Oh God, Nketiah is coming on. A player I hate, likely to score against us. Absolutely bog standard footballer. Oh yeah, I did hear someone else say about that Paqueta knocking the warm-up thing. How's Orford doing? I mean, it's just a nothing game of football so far. All we're doing is just like trying to throw the ball forward. The effort's there, like we're pressing them. We're just rushing everything.
It's too easy. We're so easy to play against. Yikes. Frank says they are man marking Kudus, which they are, but he's doing great. It can't be a one-man team, and that's what we are at the moment. Without Bowen, Paqueta, which don't really have, and a striker, we don't really have anyone to win us this.
Yeah, and the striker money. If we do have Bowen and Somerville back, like I said, it has to be to spend on a central defender. Thing is, Tadebo's like never coming back.
Thing is, who are we going to sell for? Who are we going to sell that's going to bring in big money that we can afford to lose? Like, we can't afford to lose. We could sell Kudus for big money, but we can't afford to lose him. So which other players would we sell to really bring enough revenue in to revamp this team? That's kind of the worry as well. We've got players that are retiring or coming at the end of their contracts. We're going to need another big overhaul.
It's just pretty frustrating.
I'll let you off this one, Keanu, because that was quite funny. Who has better ball control, Mavropanos or Northie's mum? I'll allow it.
Stephen Darling says this might help the West Ham recruitment team get their fingers out.
Well, I don't know much hope.
Hughes' dad doesn't like giving out cards, especially against his son. Oh, God. Eddie and Nketiah to score this for them would just typify this game of football. I'm not even able to do a reverse bet on him scoring on Paddy Power as yet. For God's sake. Shamrock Dan has a good solution, but I'm not going to put that up. Well, West Ham 33-1 to win, 7-2 to draw. If we could get one goal against the mighty footballing unit of Crystal Palace, that's all we need. Just a goal. Take a draw.
God, if anyone's been struggling to sleep lately, this game should certainly help.
I'd like to see someone warming up. Guilherme, maybe.
I'd like to see the 11 on the pitch warming up, to be honest.
Someone's got to provide more attacking threat than, let's say, Alvarez. Which is a risk that we do get the dreaded Eddie Nketiah second goal, but just can't do anything with possession.
No.
Saxony looks a bit like Woody Harrelson. Honestly, think we're in trouble. I think we'll be fine. It's just a bit boring. We don't have Bowen or Somerville, who between them are worth at least a goal. Dean also make the final sub. Yeah.
Yeah, the three changes have made no difference whatsoever.
No, the effort level is raised a bit. Obviously, the possession is raised because they've got their goal, so they can sit back. But just every time we get the ball, we just like what happens now. Like the question of when we got it, how will we not get close to their final third?
Oh, Jeff said he's just seen Genoa have agreed a deal for Maxwell Cornet. I mean, that's,
yeah, clutching at straws for good news on that front.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Good luck to him.
Oh my God! Come on, spread the ball. Spread the ball. Slow pass forward to Skulls, and a pass back to Kilman.
The ease of which they're going for our midfield as well. It's crazy.
Back to Mavropanos. Non-pass. Mavropanos can't pass football. I can pass better than Mavropanos. I'm very confident in that claim. Can't pass football.
Dean's clutching as well, but I like it. We're 2 wins away from top 10.
Wan-Bissaka jogging slowly with the football. Suchek spreads it left, and it goes back to Kilman. Let me guess, back to Mavropanos? No, back to the goalkeeper, actually. Well done, Max Kilman. If you were Max Kilman and you're 1-0 down, why would you think at that point, I'll pass back to the goalkeeper from near the halfway line? Why would you do that? We need a goal, and the goal is not that way. So you pass back to the goalkeeper. What's the goalkeeper going to do? Punt the best ever pass forward? No.
Christ. Every ball that's played forward just stays there.
Yep, we need to
go straight to the keeper. Just nothing is. It's just so weak.
Yeah, Paul says Crystal Palace will never have an easier afternoon.
Oh, 100%, Paul. Totally agree.
Saxon East reckon goes on the whole Chris Martin Coldplay thing. Still don't quite see it myself. Scholes is good, but seems inexperienced. Uh-oh. How did this not happen? Oh, Fabianski, very, very good one-on-one against the terrible footballer Eddie Nketiah, who is now bound to score against us because I hate him.
Frank says Scholes is good, but he seems inexperienced. I agree, but the only way you're going to build that is to get him out there. And you've got to play young players. You're not going to keep bringing them in against Cities and Liverpool. So these are the games you need to get him involved in. So just needs more game time.
Gentrified landowner George Cantor. Kilman was shooting for that chance. Yeah, I mean, we basically need everyone at this point. Commanding midfielder, defender who can actually defend, striker who is actually a focal point would be great. It's just... Yeah, I mean, Neil's the worst players. It's basically the defenders. It's just always the defenders.
I mean, they're tough choices anyway.
It's not like, oh, Mavropanos sent off, is that? Yep. Dinos Mavropanos. A man who provides absolutely nothing to West Ham United Football Club and instead ships goals and now gets 2 yellows.
Gift that keeps on giving.
He's absolutely mindless. Let's see how the Greek genius did it. He was holding the player, high kick. He basically kicked Mateta in the face. Let's have a look. Yeah, he kicked him right in the face. So Dinos Mavropanos, professional paid football player, earning a lot of money, made a conscious choice. I don't know if he's talking of our good friend Freud again. I don't know if Mavropanos has achieved full consciousness at this point in his life, because if your brain functions, surely you just have a permanent little voice at the back of your head saying, don't kick other football players in the face with like a kung fu. G1 will know all about this. Kung fu level boot in nose. Just don't do it. It's one thing you don't do on a football pitch. Mateta's quite tall as well. At least you can praise Mavropanos for his yoga abilities to get his foot up that high.
That we can take a positive out of this, because at least he can't play for 3 games.
It's only 1 because it was 2 yellows, unless they go back and say it was violent. So he'll miss the Villa away game.
I don't care.
West Ham now 150-1 to win. If anyone is into that kind of thing. Brentford, Liverpool still 0-0. Liverpool to win 13-8. West Ham to draw 7-1.
Just out
10 minutes left of the shittiest of shit shows ever possible to take place in the Premier League.
Let me just think, the first half of the season, this can't get any worse. This football, what we're watching, could not be this shit. And then they go and surprise us. They reach new highs.
Yeah.
This is bad. Just boring. It's not bad. We're not getting spanked, but it's just the weakest display I think we've had. It's so boring.
We need 2 defenders so badly. Yeah, Richard B, how much worse can Casey be? That's the thing. If Casey's got half a brain on him and you just say, play here, do you know the offside trap? Yeah, no, I know it really well. I've been doing it for ages. Oh, Guilherme's finally on, 81 minutes, 10 men. Bring on Guilherme. Potter has not covered himself in glory with this substitution, I have to say. I think there was nothing wrong with the first half. And it's not Potter's fault. He's, joined a club with Kilman and Mavropanos as the options. But let's just hope if Casey can play in the Villa game with Mavropanos suspended and do okay, we don't need to see Mavropanos in a West Ham shirt ever again. He's so bad. He's ridiculously bad. Kilman is terrible, but not quite as bad as Mavropanos. That's how bad Mavropanos is, even though Kilman cost us the goal. Oh, wow.
I'd love to see. I'd just love to see like the passing stats of the players after this game.
I like this. G Wong absolutely smashes there. Knows more about kicking heads from living in Romford. And Lewis, yeah, it's obvious, but indeed, Bowen some of it will be a different game. Yeah, I mean, there's not that much else Potter could have done.
No.
Even though the display has been terrible, the only reason we're losing is Mavropanos and Kilman together. Kilman was the first reason of that goal, but Mavropanos was there just not taking part in the defensive activity on the football pitch. There's not that much you can do if you're Potter, really. The only thing that Potter hasn't done well is he's just delayed the Guilherme thing out of safety, hoping that we might get back into it somehow. Just don't bring Mavropanos back. He's just so bad.
He really is. He's awful. He really is awful.
Oh God. I can't believe it. I'm just going to be playing back Kilman's. That Kilman thing should be shown to children who are learning to play football as the just absolutely archetypal example of what not to do. Well, we're attacking a bit. Can we pull off an insane 10-man point? DC knows all about pulling off 10 men. Stevie Wonderful says, whereas Tadibo thought it was all right, he's injured for another decent period of time.
Well, we can't be playing Creswell in the back alongside Kilman now, so surely.
And we've got to sign. Never mind. It's like either play Casey and say this is what we're going to do, and if he makes mistakes, fair enough, or get in a centre back. Because at the moment we're just relying on an unproven Tadibo to come back from injury, and that's still a long time away. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The funny thing is about some professional footballers, you just don't know. You don't know how it happens sometimes. Like bringing up crappy, terrible Tottenham Hotspur, they drag us in. I don't know how is he a professional footballer now playing in the Premier League? He's that equivalent level of Mavropanos.
The chicken sitting behind Bowen. Alford looks scared, says Adam.
Yeah, John Clough says perhaps the worst ever. It's not really. It's just frustrating. Again, if it wasn't for that Kilman runaway, it would be 0-0 in a crap game of football in which we have injuries. So then you'd think, okay, fair enough, crap game of football, 0-0, no problem. But you just see our paid players be this bad. That's my problem with it. Our two defenders can't defend. And what do they do each week in training? Play futsal.
Yeah. Does that Kudus header go down as a shot on target? Or it just bounce off his head?
Wouldn't like to say.
No, I don't think it does. It hasn't in the stats. So nearly the end of the game, not one shot on target at home. God, imagine going to this game. Again, this is where I'm so glad I don't have a season ticket. Because you'd be livid.
Oh, God, that's going to be a Palace penalty. Ah, fucking bullshit. Just to tip this game off, Fabianski flies out to Nketiah, who's basically going nowhere, wide of the goal, and does the very just typical way that people get penalties, taps the ball forward and then hurls over the keeper. If Fabianski just didn't do that, that ball's going out for a goal kick because Nketiah can see Fabianski, taps it forwards. Fabianski just doesn't make the contact. So basically, our defenders and goalkeeper have single-handedly cost us this game. Here's Nketiah about to get his inevitable goal for being crap, although I think Mateta's going to take it. Oh, well. Small let-off.
To be honest, it's no more than we've deserved, is it?
Yeah. Oh, did I have any bets on Palace winning?
Fabianski didn't even remonstrate at all, did he? He just walked straight away, knew what he'd done.
Well, we have absolutely shot ourselves in the foot, done this to ourselves, handed the game on a plate to Palace, etc., at this point. My word. Probably see the ground emptying now.
I'm surprised there was that many people there.
Dear Lord. If you would get, I mean, if you'd ask like any Palace fan, manager, player, what would you like to happen this game to just make it as easy as humanly possible to get 3 points?
Is it Areola back in again next week? Gotta be in it.
Hard to say. We almost saved it as well. Jumped right over the ball.
Dave says, less of the new manager bounce, more of a new manager splat. We don't ever seem to get that new manager bounce, do we?
With our quality of defenders, I don't know how you're going to get anything out of it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's nighttime, but also quality of the game was bad. You know, in Potter's mind, he would have, him and his team would have thought about tactics and things happening in the game. But you could put anything ahead of Mavropanos and Kilman.
Yeah.
You could be, whether people think, Guardiola or Klopp or whoever is the best manager, Ancelotti, you could do whatever you want. But if they're attacking, the sole striker runs towards your defender and he doesn't know what he's doing and just backs away and they get a shot away, what are you going to do? It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, the way it went under him as well. And it's one of those weird ones where it's at your hip. So it's tough to get anything, but stick your knee forward, do something. I mean, yeah, it's wholesale changes. I think, we've seen that. A couple of things are saying, somebody there said, Potter's not the one. I mean, it's way too early to say that. It is way too early, but, there's now what we all know. We need a lot of changes.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to make what might be, from his point of view, a difficult decision and not play Mavropanos again, and just deal with an unhappy person. If Mavropanos thinks he should be playing, he must see now. He's seen it for himself. If you watched any West Ham games this season or last season, he's seen Mavropanos give goals to the opposition. Now he's seen a poor defensive display. Mavropanos kick another player in the face. I mean, the ref only gave him a yellow. He could have actually given him a red, which would actually be better for us to get him away for 3 games. He needs to spend the next week working with Casey to give him some confidence, training Kilman on the basics of football.
Yeah. Top Nana says, there's no need to panic. It was never going to be easy for Potter with this depleted squad and a very average and poorly assembled players. Time and patience and quality signings is needed. 100% there. Totally agree with that. But He's got to get the backing. He's got to get the backing, and I don't think we'll get the amount of backing we will need from the sale of the fringe players. So Sully's going to have to dig deep again. Like spend another 150 million. Is he going to do that? I don't know. And Damien says, yeah, what we all know as well, definitely. We need striker. We need a striker. We need two strikers. I don't think we can have one. Without luck, he'll be injured. So we need two strikers. Absolutely no outlet. You know, I wish we'd stop trying to fudge wingers into striker positions. You know, we should have enough to be able to go out and buy good strikers.
Yeah, Dave says Mavropanos is too dumb to be unhappy. He's just glad to have a day out. Oh dear. Unbelievable. Just abysmal. Yeah, I mean, everyone we need everything. We need lots of things.
Clive says there's been no back-to-back this season. It's a joke of a club. How did we end up like this? For some reason I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Marky Boy says, yeah, Kilman wouldn't get my local park team. Very true. If you were playing just 11 aside, and someone on your team did that, you just think, come on, don't pick him next week, please.
I mean, he's a depleted squad, but it shouldn't be. The problem is, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't have this bad a squad without money spent.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to frustration. Obviously, NHM, Potter will right ship this time. Absolutely agree. I think it's just the pain of the day. I think we'll be fine next season. I think absolutely we've got the right manager. I think for the first time in a long time we've got youngsters coming through that have proven quality. They play for England at their age group. Just looking at Potter there, I think he's got the right facial expression because he's just staring forward absent-mindedly at the grass, which I'm hoping is his version of about to lay into a couple of people, one of them being Mavropanos, one of them being Kilman. And they're not really laying to everyone else, but it's just not forgivable to be that bad. Even if you don't need to lay into them, just say nicely, please go away.
Yeah. Ironegg says, have we had a shot on target? No. We've had 7 shots, none on target, which at home against a team lower than you in the league, well, not anymore, is just woeful.
Yeah, like I say, I think if we're trying to analyse, I think Potter was too cautious with Guilherme. If you're going to put him on the pitch at some point, then why wait? That doesn't make sense at all. Malcolm says, I think he's done well with manager. What you have to work with. Yes, Skulls impressed. Yes, yeah. Like there's all. I think it's very plain for everyone. I just think what I want to see. What I want to see is now some positive action from Potter. Like I say, the camera's on him again. And I think he's making the right face because I think he's making that face which says, "Dear God, there's a lot of work to do ahead of us."
Yeah,
and that's what there is. I think there's still over 10 days of the transfer window left. Something's got to happen in any area of the pitch, really. I mean, we're packed with midfielders at the moment, but something's got to happen, and especially defensively, because it doesn't matter how good a manager is. You come in with the very best we have to offer defensively. Kilman, Mavropanos, and an injured Tadibo. Where do you go from there? Apart from that, it's time for us to F off. You will all be very pleased to know. Go and have the spiciest curry of your lives to prove how macho you all are. Thanks very, very much for joining us, Northie.
No Cormers. Enjoy your weekend.